Chapter 171. Those that are lost 5. Ah, I see. I had seen those eyes before. In the decayed depths of those eyes, I found a sense of familiarity from a distant past. I too, had once possessed those eyes. And as soon as I realized that sense of kinship, I had a guess as to why Jeon Myung-hoon is searching for Yi and Jin. To confirm my guess, I look at him and ask. Explain the situation. What happened? I lost everything. You, calm down. Wo Wang. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. With the realm of treading heavens, I strongly implant a command in Jeon Myung-hoon to momentarily stop his outburst. Explain properly. Why are you looking for Yi and Jin? I'll help you. The soul within Yi and Jin that had been hiding, Yi and Wei, had said that when the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was destroyed, their lifespans were shortened to under 20 years. I have a rough guess. Perhaps the true immortal that destroyed the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect somehow manipulated the lifespans of those associated with the sect. At my shout, Jeon Myung-hoon trembles and slowly opens his mouth. That being brought down a heavenly tribulation. His face turns gloomy. As soon as it opened its eyes, it took the heavenly lightning banner from us. Using the banner as a medium, it brought down the heavenly tribulation across the entire Thunder Spirit Island from above. I see despair consuming Jeon Myung-hoon's consciousness. Those who were not in the sect due to missions at the time of the incident are possible survivors. Everyone registered in the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Everyone across the 3,000 worlds who had formed a master-disciple bond with the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect was fixed with the fate of heavenly tribulation. Crack. He grinds his teeth. At most 20 years, within that time, all beings in the 3,000 worlds who follow the teachings of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect's founder, Yongsu Jin, will be forced into a fate of annihilation by heavenly tribulation. I see. I understand why he is searching for Yi and Jin. So, are you trying to save the survivors of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? Yes. He grabs the hem of my clothes with his decayed eyes, pleading with agony. Help me find Yi and Jin. You said you would help, right? Please, help me. Everyone is dead. Apart from 5 disciples who were dispatched far away, those who were sent nearby died in order according to their proximity to the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. Yi and Jin, who was dispatched to the Devil Realm, and the remaining 4 who went to explore the Nether Ghost Realm, are the only disciples of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect left in this world. Quote. I understand. I nod. Yi and Jin, with the heavenly being puppets I gave him, headed to the bright cold realm to look for you. Even though the puppets are far away, I can still contact them. With those words, a spark of life begins to appear in Jeon Myung-hoon's decayed eyes. Really? Seo Eun-yun, is that true? Yes, it will take a few days for my message to reach, but I should be able to get in touch with Yi and Jin within 4 days. With a roar, Jeon Myung-hoon grips my shoulder, trembling with a soulless face. Thank you, Seo Eun-yun. With those words, Jeon Myung-hoon faints on the spot. This is exhaustion. It made sense he would collapse from exhaustion, having killed a 4-axis inspector before fighting with me and using a taxing technique to extract flags from his body during his rampage here. I sigh, looking at the fainted Jeon Myung-hoon. Everyone who fell into this world has changed, without exception. I've regained all my memories. I close my eyes and contemplate my nascent soul. Good memories, bad memories. I retrieved all memories submerged in the depths of unconsciousness and recorded them within the artifact spirits. Even memories that I wanted to forget. In those memories, honestly, Jeon Myung-hoon wasn't exactly a pleasant figure to me. But, even so, whether there were good times or bad, it was my life. And Jeon Myung-hoon, annoying as he may have been, was a part of my life's journey, a connection I made. Rustling. The canvas of myriad forms and connections now records the appearance of Jeon Myung-hoon, who has come this time. Honestly, I don't like you. However, annoying as he might be, this guy was not my enemy. Not an ill connection, but just a regular bond. That's why I decided to help Jeon Myung-hoon. You've lost everything, you say. I can't help but feel a sense of kinship with him. I know all too well the feeling of helplessness from losing loved ones due to overwhelming power. Perhaps knowing it all too well makes me want to help him even more. After having a puppet take the fainted Jeon Myung-hoon to the governor's mansion, I head to look for the devil tribes who have not yet managed to leave the barrier's interior. Taoist Jeon, can you lead them safely? Well, there was a bit of conflict, but it's not a big deal. The barrier made of vast cold jade is a problem. But watching from afar, it seems that the Lord Governor can dismantle the barrier. That's right. The tentacled being, adjusting to my eye level, speaks. You seem different from before, Lord Governor. Instead of the unstable consciousness wave I've seen before, I now feel a firm wave of consciousness from you. I smile at him. I've regained what I had lost. I won't waver anymore, whether by the devil race or the human race. I glance at the devils, who are anxiously chattering behind Jianshin. And the pair of young men and women mingled among them. I will not let those dear to me die in front of me. Congratulations. You've shed your worries. I've just regained my standard. Wriggle, wriggle. Suddenly, Jianshin crosses two of its tentacles to make a scissor gesture. Our Yuchok tribe prides itself on being a highly cultured and intellectual race. Since our racial trait involves parasitizing others, we prefer to define ourselves by the essence rather than appearance. His intent contains a certain respect for me. And this gesture signifies a salute containing respect for a member of our tentacled race who can clearly define themselves. Please accept it. Wo Wang. A faint light of spiritual energy shimmers right at the center of Jianshin's scissor gesture with his tentacles. It seems not just a greeting but some specific mystic technique. Feeling sincerity in his intent, I express my gratitude and accept the light of spiritual energy he shoots out. Wo Wang. Simultaneously, I feel a peculiar sensation take root in my nascent soul. This is. A special sensation swirls around my nascent soul. I become able to contemplate my nascent soul more clearly and distinctly than before. It seems that Jianshin has granted me a particular ability. Our race primarily lives by overpowering others' minds and parasitizing them. The technique I've given you transforms a part of your soul into something similar to our race, allowing you to detach your soul and parasitize another's nascent soul. You can eventually dominate their nascent soul to condense a second nascent soul using the technique of mysterious bizarre GU. This technique, I feel a sense of familiarity with the technique Jianshin gave me. And I know where this familiarity comes from. Yuan Li's blood spirit. It's similar to the devilish art that splits one's own nascent soul to create blood spirits, hiding them in the dragon veins of various cities. Indeed, the devil realm is the homeland of devilish arts. Yuan Li's blood spirit might also have originated from the Yuchok tribe or a similar race. Thank you. However, to use this technique, I would ultimately have to parasitize someone else's soul with my own, and I don't think I'll be using such demonic arts. Well, whether you use it or not is up to you. Besides, the essence of mysterious bizarre GU is not about ruthlessly exploiting others' souls. Jianshin continues. In the distant past, when the true devil realm was whole, the devil realm was divided into two factions, the demonic devils and the heavenly fiends. Among them, the heavenly fiends would consume demonic devils as resources through their peculiar devilish arts. They were especially known for techniques that eroded the minds of demonic devils, corrupting and turning them into eternal slaves of the heavenly fiends, which was popular among the heavenly fiends at that time. Our Yuchok tribe was once enslaved by the heavenly fiends, but one of our ancestors countered the mind erosion of the heavenly fiends by parasitizing the heavenly fiends' mind in reverse with clear self-awareness and personal standpoint, battling their mental power with a technique that became the origin of mysterious bizarre GU. In other words, this technique was created to counter the heavenly fiends. You could say that. Now, the worlds have split into the blood yin realm where the heavenly fiends reside and our true devil realm where we demonic devils live. People from the bright cold realm have no reason to see heavenly fiends, but it's a well-known fact in the true devil realm that the heavenly fiends have been peculiarly obsessed with the bright cold realm for ages. Since you've come to the true devil realm, you might encounter heavenly fiends, so I'll give you this technique. Quote. Thank you. It's I who should be thanking you for treating our devil race well. We smile at each other. Quote. I'd like to send you off right away, but according to the celestial energy, a calamity will envelop this area in a few days. I explained to Jianshin after observing the celestial energy. After reaching the nascent soul stage, my ability to perceive celestial energy has grown even more. And from what I can see, this occupied territory will be engulfed by those harboring malice within a few days. If Jianshin leads the devils out of this place to escape the occupied territory, they will likely be caught by those with ill intentions. Considering the nature of the calamity, it's likely to be humans. If they were devils like Jianshin, I would have let them go without hesitation. However, it seems that the human race Grand Alliance is likely to send people. I can't send you off just yet, so please be patient a little longer. Understood. We will wait. Since it's a calamity I can handle, I'll send you off after dealing with them. After conveying this to Jian Xin, I went to a place in the occupied territory where spiritual energy is dense and stabilized my nascent soul's realm for several days. Is the human race Grand Alliance coming to capture me? It's highly likely. Perhaps I was already registered as a traitor to the human race and have a bounty on my head. Single quote. Let's prepare ourselves. Being able to read celestial signs doesn't mean I can foresee my own fate. In fact, being able to read celestial energy only gives me a vague understanding of my future, and preparing for it without being able to read all possible changes means that no matter how much I read the celestial energy, I cannot know my own fate. I don't know what will become of me, but maybe I might have to betray the human race. Let's brace for the future and face it head on. With determination, I waited for several days. 4 days later, Jian Myung-hoon woke up. Reading the celestial energy, I realized that people from the human race will arrive in 2 days. Maybe I'll need Jian Myung-hoon's help. Having ascended to the nascent soul stage, I gained a vision of a different dimension. Now, I can unfold the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts that transcends planes themselves, so surviving is not an issue unless a grand cultivator at the integration stage personally comes. The challenge is protecting the devil race. Jian Myung-hoon should be able to handle that, right? Now that I have sent a message to Yi and Jin, a reply should be coming soon. I'll convey Yi and Jin's news to Jian Myung-hoon and then ask for his help. With the strength that Jian Myung-hoon displayed in killing an inspector at the 4-axis stage, he will be of considerable help. Wo Wang, I feel the jade slip in my grasp vibrating. A response already. It's a reply from the heavenly being stage puppet that went with Yi and Jin. That's good, he must be on his way here. Wo Wang, as I infuse spiritual energy into the jade slip, it trembles and projects an image into the air. Flash. What? Kurururun, curring. Flash. Heavenly lightning. It's lightning falling from the sky. Within the lightning, Yi and Jin, with his half-white, half-black hair, and the soul entity attached to him disintegrates simultaneously. A bolt of lightning from the lightning strike surges towards the puppet. Fizz. That's the end of the footage. Quote. What is this? I am dumbfounded, gasping in shock. They died in the meantime. Yi and Wei mentioned they would die within 20 years. I interpreted it as meaning at least, they wouldn't die for another 10 years at the earliest. But it seems within 20 years meant they could die at any point within that time frame. They simply died. I clench my fists tightly, grinding my teeth. Single quote. Sorry, Yi and Jin, maybe it's my fault. If I hadn't insisted on sending the puppet to find Jian Myung-hoon and kept him here, perhaps he could have met Jian Myung-hoon here. What should I tell Jian Myung-hoon? Now, rather than thinking about receiving help, I am more worried about how to break the news to him. Should I tell him the truth, or should I lie? Before going to Jian Myung-hoon, I stand in place, deeply pondering. What should I tell him? After much contemplation, I went to find Jian Myung-hoon. He had just regained his energy and was standing up, blankly staring outside the governor's office. Jian Myung-hoon, have you woken up? How long has it been since I fainted? 4 days. I see. Didn't you say it would take about 4 days for the message to reach Yi and Jin? How much longer do I need to wait for a response? I have a question to ask you, Jian Myung-hoon. I look at him and ask. What will you do when you meet Yi and Jin? Though I heard that a being called True Immortal has fixed Yi and Jin's fate with a heavenly tribulation. I will block it for him. His eyes shine as he speaks. It's not a tribulation called upon by his own cultivation, but one artificially imposed by another. I can block it for him. The heavenly tribulation inflicted on the golden divine heavenly thunder sect is a bolt of lightning struck by a true immortal directly. However, the tribulation fixed by the true immortal on his fate is not directly exerted by a true immortal, but indirectly so. I'll definitely be able to block it. Is that so? Now that you've heard what you're curious about, give me an answer, Seo Eun-yun. Has the message reached Yi and Jin? I look at Jian Myung-hoon. I observe his intent and heart essence. A field of corpses. A sea of blood and mountains of corpses. That is Jian Myung-hoon's current heart essence. His mind is showing a highly unstable appearance within that sea of blood and corpses. If I were to tell him now that Yi and Jin is dead, he might completely lose his mind. There's still no response from Yi and Jin. I clench my teeth and lie. It will take some time for a response to come back. It only takes time to connect the puppet from the 8th occupied territory. Once connected, there's no delay, but I lied. He needs hope. Without even a glimmer of hope, he would crumble and go mad on the spot. I see. I understand. When there's a response from Yi and Jin, I'll let you know. Having cowardly lied, I can't ask him to help me protect the devil race. I have no choice. The calamity I've seen is something I can handle, so I'll have to resolve it as much as I can with my own power. I head outside the governor's office and start waiting again. And then, 2 more days passed. They've come. While contemplating my nascent soul, I open my eyes and look up at the sky. Wo Wang, Wo Wang, Wo Wang. Beyond the barrier, numerous nascent soul stage and heavenly being stage cultivators are lined up. The gap in the barrier that had been made during the fight with Jaeon Myung-hoon had since self-repaired, closing up once more. Kuring, Kururururung. The sky is covered in dark clouds and enveloped in yin energy. Soon, rain begins to fall from the sky. Swoosh. Yin attribute techniques. I assess the situation, looking at who seems to be the leader among the heavenly being stage cultivators. The devil tribes have been told to go underground for shelter. Remaining on the surface of the occupied territory are now only myself and Jaeon Myung-hoon, who should be resting in the governor's building. I'll resolve it somehow. 3 heavenly being stage cultivators. 8 nascent soul stage cultivators. I can handle this much. Wo Wang. The sky roars, and a heavenly being stage cultivator wrapped in yin energy unfurls a scroll and begins to read. The messenger of the human race Grand Alliance, this Hyeon Shin proclaims. The traitor of the human race, former provincial governor Seo Eun-yun, and the slaughterer demon Jaeon Myung-hoon, come out and willingly submit to the arrest of the Grand Alliance. Slaughterer demon Jaeon Myung-hoon. Especially the slaughterer demon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, who mercilessly massacred innocent members of the human race in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th occupied territories, causing tremendous damage to the alliance and killing the inspector of the 4-axis stage dispatched by the human race. If you resist, you will be executed on the spot. I stare, mouth agape, towards the governor's building where Jaeon Myung-hoon should reside. What madness has he wrought on his way here? I chuckle hollowly and look at Hyeon Shin. Given the situation, it might seem a bit humorous to ask, but if the 4th occupied territory was devastated by Jaeon Myung-hoon, what happens to the original plan? The expressions on Hyeon Shin's face, as well as those who came with him, twists grotesquely at my question. The human race Grand Alliance is in chaos because of him. His rampage turned our strategic areas into a mess, completely derailing our comprehensive battle plans. He must be captured and brought to trial by the Alliance for his crimes, including the murder of the 4-axis stage inspector. Of course, as a former provincial governor and accused traitor of the human race, you're to be tried as well. Then let me ask one more thing. Holding a glimmer of hope, I look at Hyeon Shin and inquire. Does this mean the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan is also cancelled? If that is the case, there won't be an urgent need to evacuate the devil tribes. If so, I don't need to kill these people. The reason for the urgent evacuation of the devils is because the start of the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan will obliterate those I am connected with and their lands without a trace. If the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan is cancelled, I am prepared to quietly allow myself to be captured. The devil tribes can be slowly evacuated using puppets. However, Hyeon Shin's response is despairing. What are you talking about? I said the plan was disrupted, not cancelled. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect I belong to has deep ties with the Black Dragon race among the Earth tribe, and fortunately, the integration stage Black Dragon King has decided to help us this time, considering our relationship. Even if the Grand Alliance has to share rights with the Black Dragon race, the plan itself won't change much. I see. I sigh. No choice then. There is only one way left. Suppress or kill them, then quickly evacuate those I am connected with. I am prepared to become a traitor to the human race. Yun Shin, perhaps attempting to crush the spirits of Jaeon Myung-hoon and me, bellows out loud. Anyway, criminals Seo Eun-yun and Grand Traitor Jaeon Myung-hoon, comply with the noble human race Grand Alliance's arrest. If you resist, not only will the Azure Heaven Creation sect, that you Seo Eun-yun belong to, face repercussions, but depending on the actions of Jaeon Myung-hoon, the last survivor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, it will also determine how the sect is recorded in the history of the human race. And then, boom, the governor's office explodes, and Jaeon Myung-hoon, who had been resting inside, growls as he spits out a curse. The last survivor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, what does that mean? Exactly as said. Survivors of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect dispatched to the Nether Ghost Realm are missing due to the vast distance between dimensions, and another survivor who was sent to the Devil Realm has recently had their light extinguished from the Life Registry in Temporal Fate Island. Temporal Fate Island is an island that provides proof of identity for those belonging to the human race, and it contains something known as the Life Registry. The Life Registry, equipped with a magical spell that lights up in response to the life signals of all human race members registered on Temporal Fate Island, provided a way to know the life or death of any member. Only inspectors affiliated with the Human Race Grand Alliance can access the comprehensive Life Registry, which the Grand Alliance uses to manage the movements of the human race. Hearing Yunshin's words, I clench my teeth. Damn it. In the end, Jeon Myung-hoon learned about Yeonjin's death. I repeat, the two criminals. And in the next moment, snap, ... Grand Alliance, boom, a vertical streak of blood shoots across Hyeon-shin's face. A moment later, his body is split in half. Kuurururung, suddenly appearing behind Hyeon-shin, Jeon Myung-hoon holds Hyeon-shin's nascent soul in his hand. Crackle, as he clenches his hand, Hyeon-shin's nascent soul explodes. Kurururung, within the dark clouds summoned by Hyeon-shin, red lightning begins to wriggle. Red, although Jeon Myung-hoon is at the nascent soul stage, for some reason, his consciousness begins to expand, covering everything around him. And looking at the color of his intent, I felt as if the sky and earth were covered in a bloody hue. Looking at the color of his intent, I witnessed the illusion of the sky and earth being covered in a bloody crimson hue. I bite my lip. Jeon Myung-hoon, who had been in a state of precariousness, has completely collapsed. To reach my comrades in the Nether Ghost Realm, it will take 200 years due to the distance between dimensions. But I only have 20 years left. I came here hoping to save at least one disciple of our sect, even just one. Drip, drip, Jeon Myung-hoon's eyes roll back, showing the whites, and tears of blood stream down his face. They're all dead, everyone. Yes. I realize. Jeon Myung-hoon's mind, at this moment, has completely shattered. I have seen such states of mind before. Sia Weol and the Mad Lord. And myself when I lost Buk Hyung-hwa to Yuan Lee. Those whose heart essences were enveloped in darkness. Today, nothing matters anymore. Everyone, just die. Jeon Myung-hoon went completely insane. Chapter 172, Even if this place is hell 1. Kururung, the heavens and earth are engulfed in purple lightning. Damn it, even sending hard language to try and calm his mind doesn't help. His heart essence is completely shattered. It was already in a precarious state, but the fact that Yeonjin died must have been the tipping point. Can I subdue him? Just then, Woodook, Woodooduk, swoosh, coo, ugha, quote ... quote. Sure enough, the messenger from the Human Race Grand Alliance, whose nascent soul had exploded due to Jeon Myung-hoon, is screaming while regenerating his body. How? I clearly saw his nascent soul explode. Even if one loses their entire body, as long as the nascent soul exists, resurrection is possible for cultivators from the nascent soul stage and above. Conversely, this means the biggest weakness of cultivators at the nascent soul stage is the nascent soul itself. He's alive even after his nascent soul exploded. Wait, that is, Wo Wang. Behind Hyeon-shin, 3 nascent souls appear. Quote ... quote. And one of the nascent souls re-enters Hyeon-shin's body. Soon after, Hyeon-shin is completely resurrected. You, how dare you consume one of my nascent souls? I will definitely kill you. Did he condense not just 1, but 4 nascent souls? Jeon Myung-hoon, engulfed in lightning, silently watches Hyeon-shin with his eyes inverted. The sight is quite eerie, and Hyeon-shin, startled by Jeon Myung-hoon, starts to ramble about his nascent souls. Ha. The 4 symbols nascent soul technique of our mystical scaled fish commanding sect allows splitting the original nascent soul into 4 and then slowly nurturing them to obtain a total of 4 nascent souls. I won't be easily defeated by someone like you. After finishing his words, he immediately forms a hand seal. Wo Wang. Behind him, 3 nascent souls float up. The nascent souls position themselves in a shape behind him, forming the same hand seal as him. Wo Wang. Simultaneously, a shaped spatial rift appears behind him. However, due to one of the 4 symbols nascent souls being missing, the spatial rift doesn't seem to be in its complete form. Jeon Myung-hoon, who killed the 4-axis inspector, and Seo Eun-yun, estimated to be of 4-axis strength. I have come to capture both of you. Wo Wang. Simultaneously, from the spatial rift behind Hyeon Shin, something begins to emerge. I watch the scene with wide eyes. What is that? The plane of Qi trembles. With the vision of the Earth tribe, Yin and Yang rotates, diving deep into the plane of Qi. At the same time, I see something pulling up through the spatial rift, with Yin and Yang swirling within the plane of Qi. Wo Wang. In regular vision, visible changes are happening to Hyeon Shin. Black scales sprout on his skin. Simultaneously, from the black spatial rift behind him, the shadow of a dragon emerges and clings to his body. Kugugugu. Hyeon Shin's body transforms, becoming half human, half demon like Seo Ran. Many disciples of our mystical scaled fish commanding sector demi-humans of the Grand Cultivator Black Dragon King Hyeon Eum, mysterious yin, and human concubines. Gifted with the true blood of the immortal beast Black Dragon, bestowed by him, it is possible to draw upon the power of ancient immortal beasts from the distant past. Kugugugu. At the same time, the weather begins to change. The air fills with yin energy, and once again, rain begins to fall. Swoosh. This time, the rain is black water. Kugugugu. The dark clouds in the sky gather, transforming into the shape of an ink dragon. Qua. Rain pours from the sky, and water gushes from the ground. The natural world is changing. This is, clearly, the power of the four-axis stage. The shadow of the black dragon clinging to him. It's giving him power. It isn't the power he cultivated. Through this so-called true blood of the immortal beast, he's borrowing the power of something existing far away. Below the ink dragon, Hyeon Shin points at Jaeon Myung-hoon and shouts. Surrender quietly and hand over your nascent soul, Jaeon Myung-hoon. Otherwise, and then, shut your mouth. With a thunderous roar, shut up. The clouds filling the sky are torn apart in a single strike. The red lightning, clustering like the sun, tears the clouds apart, and from its center, Jaeon Myung-hoon screams madly. Everyone should die. In this meaningless world, why are you all still alive? Kugugugugu. The sky is covered with red lightning. The ink dragon formed by dark clouds created by Hyeon Shin with confidence is torn to shreds and disintegrated by Jaeon Myung-hoon's lightning. Wait, what is this? Before he can grasp the situation, Jaeon Myung-hoon flies at the speed of lightning towards Hyeon Shin, grabbing his face. Kuurururung. Thunder follows Jaeon Myung-hoon, and the cultivators in the heavenly being stage and nascent soul stage who came with Hyeon Shin are flustered, each forming hand seals and casting their spells towards Jaeon Myung-hoon. However, the next moment, Kuurururung, the heavens and earth are enveloped in crimson lightning. The entire 8th occupied territory is filled with red lightning, covering everything in existence. Not only the cultivators who came to assist Hyeon Shin but also I am enveloped in red lightning. In an instant, the world turns blindingly white. I gasp for air while looking up at the sky, my body smoking. Kururung. Red lightning is still writhing in the sky. And I, having drawn upon the azure spirit starlight quintessence great method to its limit, clench my teeth. Wo Wang. The starlight of the starlight protecting void body circles my entire body. Like Oh Yun Sok before, my body had transformed as if embodying the night. I blocked it. Gasping for breath, I looked down at the devil race who fainted just from the aftermath. Fortunately, Jaeon Myung-hoon's attack hadn't killed the devil race I was trying to protect because I had thrown my body with all my might to block Jaeon Myung-hoon's red lightning. But I look up at the sky with a tense face. Jaeon Myung-hoon is still convulsing at the center of the sphere made of red lightning. The cultivators of the heavenly being and nascent soul stages who had been supporting Hyeon Shin until now have all disappeared. They seem to have turned to ash. As I survey the situation and look around, I see a small cloud cluster in the distance. It's a dark cloud made of yin energy. The dark cloud envelops something like a small cocoon, and after a while, a person emerges. It's Hyeon Shin. He's spitting blood, glaring at Jaeon Myung-hoon with bloodshot eyes. Dressed solemnly as a messenger of the human race Grand Alliance, his clothes are all torn and turned into rags, and his body is half cooked to a golden brown. Hyeon Shin looks at me and shouts. Seo Un-yun, you, help me. He grimaces with bloodshot eyes. We must stop this mad murderer. If we let him go, he will roam around committing countless massacres. We must seal him now. Help me seal him, and I will support you with all my power at the Human Race Grand Alliance's trial. Chiararik. Hyeon Shin opens his mouth and pulls out 7 flag Dharma treasures from his golden core. Each black flag Dharma treasure depicts a black dragon clutching a pearl. I am dazzled by the pearl in the mouth of the black dragon, which looks very similar to the vast cold jade. We will catch him using the barrier spread across the occupied territory. Cooperate, Co Unyun. Quote. I silently gaze at the crazed figure. How did it come to this, Jaeon Myung-hoon? Perhaps I should have joined the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect instead of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. If I had known the circumstances, perhaps I could have saved him, completely lost to madness. But Jaeon Myung-hoon has already gone mad, and in this life, I have people I need to protect. So, I'm sorry, Wo Wang, I must seal him. This is the best I can do right now. Under the influence of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, my entire body increasingly becomes immersed in starlight. The power of the starlight protecting void body endlessly amplifies the strength of my flesh. My body transforms as if visualizing the universe, like the starlight in the night sky. From my dantian, a 5-colored light swirls, while blue light orbits around both fists. Bo Wang, I will hold Jaeon Myung-hoon back, move during this time. Ironically, Hyeon Shin, who came to capture me, started to collaborate against the insane Jaeon Myung-hoon. Bo Wang. I draw my formless sword. The speed isn't that of real lightning. The red lightning fired by Jaeon Myung-hoon, while powerful, is significantly slower compared to the speed of true heavenly lightning. Slow enough for me to see with my eyes and dodge. And being able to dodge means. Bo Wang, swoosh, I can precisely strike and cut at the weakest point. Kurring, kurururung, lightning scatters in all directions, erratically rushing towards me. However, the formless sword's unpredictability matches that of the lightning. I extend the formless sword forward. The formless sword also bizarrely transforms to meet Jaeon Myung-hoon's lightning. Each strand of lightning he extends is enough to cut through space itself. But with eyes that transcend planes, cutting through space is something I can adequately respond to. The space formed by the plane of Qi. Everything under the heavens, everything that exists in this world is ultimately determined by the plane. The matter of this world. All physical sciences exist at the bottom of the plane of Qi, a lower dimension of spiritual energy. And such spiritual energies interweave messily, forming the space of this world. With my eyes that have reached the nascent soul stage, I can see the energies that make up space. How is it possible for those at the nascent soul stage to slice through space and perform spatial movement? Bo Wang, with the formless sword, I naturally cut through the spiritual energies forming the plane of space, countering Jaeon Myung-hoon's lightning. Originally, being at the nascent soul stage only allows one to see the chi plane that makes up space, but actually intervening requires significant effort. Therefore, freely slicing through space and entering the void to move through space is a privilege only for those at the heavenly being stage and above. However, my formless sword, freely slicing through planes, combined with the eyes of the nascent soul stage, allows me to dodge Jaeon Myung-hoon's attacks as freely as a heavenly being stage cultivator. Kururung. His energy gradually intensifies. Once again, 6 flags sprout from his back. But this time, the flags are not drawn out one by one as before. Kwayang. Instead, all 6 flags are drawn out at once. Wo Wang. Simultaneously, the red lightning covering his surroundings begin to change shape. The lightning takes form, transforming into the figure of a giant. It looks akin to a thunder god. The fearsome figure of the thunder god raises its arms to the sky. The thunder god's shoulders stretch out, sprouting another pair of arms. The newly formed thunder god spread its pair of arms on both sides again. And once more, another pair of arms sprout from the thunder god's shoulders. The newly sprouted arms reach forward. In the form of a 6-armed figure, each hand holds a flag. Ooh, the thunder god roars. Simultaneously, the sky turns red, and the earth trembles. Kugugugu. The thunder god absorbs the surrounding lightning power, gradually increasing in size. The flags in the hands of the thunder god also grow larger. After a while, the thunder god, grown to about 2,000 meters in size, looks down at me. Zerit, Zerit. The space between the heavens and earth is filled with lightning energy, causing static electricity to prickle all over my body with every movement. I gaze at the red glow in the eyes of the thunder god. Quote. I am sorry, Jaeon Myung-hoon. I take the starting form. For leaving you to become a monster. Kurururung. The thunder god roars and swings its flags. With each swing of its 6 arms, colorful lightning bolts fall towards me. Our battle has begun. At the headquarters of the human race Grand Alliance, Heavenly Human Island. At the very center of that sky island, Grand cultivators at the integration stage reside on Heavenly Cauldron Mountain. There are 7 cave mansions on Heavenly Cauldron Mountain. From one of the 7, a bright burst of light shines forth. Soon after, the white light soars to the summit of Heavenly Cauldron Mountain and settles in a small formation there. Wo Wang. As the formation activates, the white light transforms into the figure of a man and takes his place within the formation, and shortly after, 6 faint figures appear above it. Cultivator Wei, what matter requires the summoning of the Council of Grand Cultivators? One of the figures asks the white light, Wei Ryong Son. Wei Ryong Son frowns and replies. Previously, we sent an inspector to arrest Xiao Unyun, the provincial governor of the 8th occupied territory of the Devil Realm, on charges of betrayal to the human race. The inspector was captured and killed by Jian Myong-hoon, a survivor of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. We then sent Hyeon Shin to apprehend him. Hyeon Shin, isn't that the one with the most potent lineage of immortal beasts from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect? Excessive force was sent, considering that Hyeon Shin can borrow the power of ancient immortal beasts to exhibit the peak strength of a mid-4-axis stage entity despite being at the heavenly being stage. Even if both Xiao Unyun and Jian Myong-hoon are considered 4-axis stage forces, according to what has been assessed, Xiao Unyun barely reaches the 4-axis stage. Jian Myong-hoon can only exert the power of the mid-4-axis stage explosively for a short duration, right? It's unlikely he can defeat Hyeon Shin, who can stably exhibit the peak power of the mid-4-axis stage throughout the day. Following the Grand Cultivators' discussion, Wei Ryong Son sighs and then speaks. I just received a message from Hyeon Woon, the chief strategist of the Devil Realm Conquest Army. He felt the death of his brother, Hyeon Shin. What? How can that be? Could Hyeon Woon have felt wrong? I just confirmed with my avatar in Temporal Fate Island. Hyeon Shin's life marker has vanished. This is unbelievable. Are you saying Jian Myong-hoon and Xiao Unyun have surpassed the mid-4-axis stage in power? Wei Ryong Son coughs and continues. According to the message from Hyeon Woon, it seems the situation is roughly as follows. Jian Myong-hoon began an uncontrollable rampage, and Hyeon Shin, briefly joining hands with Xiao Unyun and using the barrier of the 8th occupied territory, managed to seal Jian Myong-hoon. However, in the process, he was fatally injured by Jian Myong-hoon, and all his nascent souls of the 4 symbols nascent soul technique were scattered. Hyeon Shin informed Hyeon Woon of the situation using a technique before dying. It seems Xiao Unyun wasn't the problem. The real issue is Jian Myong-hoon. How absurd. Those not even of direct immortal beast lineage killed a 4-axis stage cultivator at the nascent soul stage. Especially the cultivators from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect specialized in survival. A silence lingers among the gathered grand cultivators. Both are undoubtedly incredible talents. Had it not been for this incident, they might have reached the stage of grand cultivators leading the human race. Sighs leak among the grand cultivators. To think they killed a disciple of the Hyeon clan from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Black Dragon King Hyeon Eum will be furious. Furious. More like he'll pretend to be angry to meddle in the affairs of the human race. Regardless, giving him a pretext is the problem. Damn it, pretending to be enraged, he'll barge in, kill Jian Myong-hoon, and use that as a pretext to kill Xiao Unyun as well. He'll kill off the talents of the human race using this opportunity and fend off the integration stage grand cultivators of the Devil Realm, using that as a pretext to snatch away most of the occupied territories the human race has conquered for the Black Dragon race. The grand cultivators all sigh deeply. It's chaos everywhere. A lunatic called the Mad Lord of the human race has been rampaging through different races, tarnishing the prestige of our human race. Our ambitious invasion of the Devil Realm hardly showed results, and most of the occupied territories are about to be snatched away by the Black Dragon race. Moreover, all of us, the integration stage grand cultivators, are severely injured, making it difficult to even leave our abodes. Given the situation, we might as well execute the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan properly, turning the Devil Realm into ruins so that no one benefits. Right, since Jian Myong-hoon, that damned lunatic, has already turned the 4th occupied territory to ruins, let's not incorporate it into the bright cold realm but instead detonate the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation right there. The Black Dragon race won't be able to gain much from this either. It's come to this point so we all might as well go down together. They grit their teeth as they share their opinions. The Council of Grand Cultivators continued for several days. A few days later, at the summit of Heavenly Cauldron Mountain where the Council of Grand Cultivators is held, One of the 4-axis stage masters of the Grand Alliance arrived. I report to the Grand Cultivators, at the entrance to the True Devil Realm, the Black Dragon King Hyeonium has arrived and is demanding passage permission from the Grand Alliance's envoy controlling the entrance. So, the old man has finally arrived. The integration stage Grand Cultivators sigh as the meeting continues. Let him through. I don't like the old man's meddling, but under the current circumstances, he's the only one who can stop the integration stage beings of the True Devil Realm. Wei Ryong-song clicks his tongue and speaks to the 4-axis stage master. Once the old man avenges his descendant in the 8th occupied territory and heads to the front line, immediately activate the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void formation and relay this order. His eyes shimmer menacingly. Since it has come to this, it's better if no one benefits. After activating the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void formation, close the entrance to the True Devil Realm so that the Black Dragon King can't come back to protest. Thus, an order that would mark the end of the war between the humans and devils was issued by the Council of Grand Cultivators of the Human Race Grand Alliance. At the entrance to the True Devil Realm within the human territory, a pale-faced middle-aged man in black robes stands expressionlessly. The middle-aged man has a pair of small black azure antlers on his forehead. Next to him, a 4-axis stage envoy of the Grand Alliance is nervously standing. When exactly is the passage permission arriving? Are your people evolved from snails? I'm starting to get annoyed. My apologies to the Black Dragon King, but if you can wait just a bit longer. You've been saying just a bit longer over and over again, but when exactly does this, bit longer, end? That is, my descendant, Hyeon Shin, has died, and I'm already in a very foul mood. I'm waiting for the passage permit out of the minimum respect for you human race folks, but if you're going to delay it like this, how do you think I feel? That is. Just then, Wo Wang, a bright light emanates from the jade slip at the waist of the 4-axis stage envoy. The 4-axis stage envoy hastily presses the jade slip to his forehead. After reading the message conveyed through the jade slip, his face lights up. Pay permission has been granted. Black Dragon King, you may now enter. So the permission has finally been granted. Yes, fine. By the way, did Wei Ryong-song not send an avatar to this side of the True Devil Realm entrance? Ah, yes, that's correct. Grand Cultivator Wei has been gradually reducing his avatars and entrusting the management of the human race to the cultivators under the Grand Alliance. I see. Then who is the direct contact for the human race Grand Alliance at this entrance to the Devil Realm? I am the sole person directly responsible for communication with the human race Grand Alliance. No one else can communicate directly with the. In that case, Black Dragon King Hyeonium looks at the 4-axis stage envoy with a sneering smile. If I just kill you, despite whatever happens here, the human race Grand Alliance will be none the wiser. Excuse me, crack, arg. Black Dragon King moves faster than the 4-axis stage envoy can react, grabbing and lifting him by the neck. Gurk, grrrrk. Blood spurts from the envoy's 7 orifices. His entire body's blood vessels writhe as blood splatters in all directions. What are you doing? Regrettably, right after the Black Dragon King Hyeonium crossed into the True Devil Realm, a meteorite coincidentally fell near the entrance to the True Devil Realm, resulting in the total annihilation of your forces. The benevolent Black Dragon King had legally crossed into the True Devil Realm with the permission of the Human Race Grand Alliance's Council of Grand Cultivators, and the unfortunate incident of the meteorite falling has nothing to do with him. It's a truly sad event, but the benevolent Black Dragon King had no other choice but to express his condolences. You understand, right? Kugugugu. At the entrance to the True Devil Realm, a massive accumulation of black water forms in the sky. Kugugugu. The black water falls towards their location. The human race army stationed at the entrance to the True Devil Realm scream as they look up at the sky. Wah, what is that? It's the Black Dragon King. The Black Dragon King is trying to kill us. Run, we must inform the Human Race Grand Alliance. Numerous heavenly being stage and nascent soul stage cultivators use their flying escape techniques to flee. However, one of the heavenly being stage cultivators feels something strange. Wait, was the encampment near the entrance to the True Devil Realm always this extensive? Wo Wang, the heavenly being stage cultivator, looks around suspiciously. He finds himself unable to leave the encampment. Why, pot. He stops momentarily in midair before using the flying escape technique again. However, shortly after, the heavenly being stage cultivator arrives back to the same spot. What? Wait, this is the same place I just came from. His face turns pale, going in circles. This is. He and other heavenly being and nascent soul stage cultivators look at their surroundings in horror, realizing something. The space has been warped. Damn it, we're trapped here. Watching the scene, Black Dragon King crushes the 4-axis stage envoy of the Grand Alliance he was holding. Boom. At his gesture, the moisture in the envoy's body explodes outward, and the fleeing soul of the envoy is crushed in the hand of the Black Dragon King. Crackle. The Black Dragon King, having crushed the soul of the 4-axis stage envoy, strokes his beard and laments. Unfortunately, after the Black Dragon King crossed into the True Devil realm, a meteorite fell, leading to the total annihilation of the human race army stationed at the entrance to the True Devil realm without giving them a chance to react, a truly regretful event. This king will express his condolences for the annihilated human race army. Having finished speaking, Black Dragon King Hyeonium walks into the entrance of the True Devil realm. Kugugugu. Behind him, the gigantic cluster of black water he summoned falls to the ground, eliciting numerous screams. As Black Dragon King clenches his hand, the 5 elements change, turning the black water into massive rocks. The Black Dragon King, having crossed the dimensional gate into the True Devil realm, smirks wickedly. Rotten human race fools, do you think you've only backstabbed me once or twice? With the nature of the human race, you'd close the entrance to the True Devil realm the moment I cross over. Hitting you in the back of the head before you can do the same to me is the best way to deal with the human race, understand? He rises into the air of the True Devil realm, forming hand seals. Now, shall we see if the esteemed one of the Blood Yin realm has any objections? Kugugugu. Strange yin energy swirls around the Black Dragon King. Wo Wang. Behind him, 4 nascent souls emerge. The nascent souls create spatial rifts, and through those rifts, a blood-red light begins to shine. In the name of the Black Dragon King Hyeonium, I call upon thee, esteemed one of the Blood Yin realm. Let your esteemed self be revealed, nourished by the massacres and wicked deeds the human race has perpetrated in the Devil realm. Kugugugu. Hyeonium laughs ambitiously as he chants the spell. I dare speak on behalf of the billions of devils slaughtered, exploited, and devoured by the human race. Wo Wang. A bloody radiance extends from behind Hyeonium, piercing the ground. Soon, it begins to spread across the entirety of the human race's occupied territories. Come forth, O great esteemed one, and reveal your true self. A land laden with countless acts of wickedness perpetrated by the human race. In the dragon veins of all the human race occupied territories that the humans exploited and oppressed, a crimson light swirls. Chapter 173. Even if this place is hell too. Brururu. Splash. I spit out a mouthful of blood amidst the debris. Geok. Koog. Trembling. My whole body hurts. A tingling sensation echoes from various parts of my body. This place is. I look around to grasp the situation. This place is the collapsed building of the governor's office. The nearby occupied territory was completely devastated. All the buildings and facilities built by the human race have turned into a handful of ashes, and the slightly sturdier ones have all collapsed into piles of rubbish. A wasteland. Yes, this place has become a wasteland. Kurring. Kurururung. I snap back to reality at the sound of thunder coming from one place. In the 8th occupied territory is a barrier formation spread around by 7 pieces of vast cold jade. At the heart of that formation, 7 flags with a black dragon drawn on them are planted in the center, forming a barrier-like shape. That is, I stagger towards the flags. Jaeon Myong-hoon. The flags are forming a single formation. A formation to seal Jaeon Myong-hoon, borrowing the power of the barrier that covers this occupied territory. Wo Wang. I sit down in the boundary of the formation. There is no trace of Hyeon Shin's energy anywhere. He must have died after exhausting all 3 of his remaining nascent souls in the fight against Jaeon Myong-hoon. We fought for almost 3 days and nights. The lightning path method mastered by Jaeon Myong-hoon is truly terrifying. Getting hit once instantly paralyzes the body, making it impossible to move, and even after the paralysis wears off, the remaining lightning energy will chase after you like a guided missile endlessly. Moreover, each strike, although slightly slower than real lightning, is too fast to ignore, and its power is dreadful. Facing the lightning path method, which boasts extreme offensive power, I had to pour out everything I had. I managed to barely win using 90% of my strength. I look at Jaeon Myong-hoon, trapped in the center of the flag formation. Dark yin energy became chains, trapping the lightning orb in the center of the formation. It's Jaeon Myong-hoon's golden core. I look at Jeon Myung-hoon's golden core and the nascent soul trapped inside it with mixed feelings. I cannot know what kind of life you've lived. PGGGGG. Maybe yes, it's my fault. I could have chosen the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect instead of the Azure Heaven Creation sect at that time. I chose the Azure Heaven Creation sect simply because I thought I couldn't handle the true immortal. But I may not have been able to do anything about the true immortal, but I might have been able to understand the life he had lived. Perhaps, out of cowardice due to my feelings of powerlessness, I deliberately neglected him knowing he would suffer. It's a paradoxical statement for someone who can travel back in time, but time cannot be reversed. This moment, even if time were to turn back, will never disappear. It will remain within me forever, becoming one with me. I'm sorry. Jeon Myung-hoon is as good as dead now. Perhaps, this is the same as having killed a fellow from the same world with my own hands for the first time. Quote. Rest in peace. Splash. Spitting blood from my mouth again due to the injuries sustained from Jeon Myung-hoon. I turn my back on him like that. Gulp, gulp. Blood spurts from my mouth in several gushes. Those I sought to protect. As soon as the fight began, through Yuan Yu, I evacuated them along with Jeon Shin to the basement of the governor's office. I approach the collapsed governor's building and clear the debris. Boom, bang. Even with internal injuries, with my flesh strengthened through body cultivation, I can easily toss aside the debris of the building like feathers. After clearing the debris, I find the entrance leading underground. Step, step. I slowly head down to the basement. After walking for a while, I see a green light shining in the distance. Step, step. Beyond the green light, the Devil Race inhabitants and Jeon Shin are chatting. Governor, Uncle Governor. From afar, Su-in and Hong Yian, seeing me walking towards them bleeding, hurriedly run towards me. Everyone is safe. Behind them, I see Jeon Shin hastily running towards me on the puppet I had given him, and then I lose consciousness. I had a dream. In the dream, I reviewed the fight with Jeon Myung-hoon. From the start to the end of the battle. The things I lacked in between, what I did well, and what could be developed. I reflected on all those things to improve myself. During that process, I suddenly felt like I could understand something. I feel like I can pursue an even higher realm. Why is that? Is it just a feeling? But I knew it wasn't just a feeling. It's not just a feeling. It's clear. Something definite is calling me beyond this. What is it? This. After much contemplation, I finally realize. Ah, I see. The dream tears apart. It's a green Padao, the overwhelming trace of destruction I had seen in the distant past. The memory from that time replays in my mind. Why did that memory replay at this moment? The reason is obvious. The lightning spread by Jeon Myung-hoon, albeit a bit immature, was infinitely similar to the heavenly tribulation. And that green Padao was the same. It too, is like the heavenly tribulation. I am not talking about the attribute of destruction. The power of destruction itself is the personal enlightenment that the heaven collapsing esteemed one gained throughout his life. What I felt was the principle behind the creation of that destructive force. It's similar, undoubtedly so. The strike of the heaven collapsing esteemed one was infinitely similar to heavenly tribulation. But what exactly is so similar? Even though I felt that his strike and the heavenly tribulation were similar, I couldn't pinpoint exactly what or why they were similar. Perhaps, the day I realized that, I might be able to reach beyond. Maybe the reason cultivators fear and despise the Heart Tribe is. It might not be just because they practice bizarre and unfathomable methods. In my dream, I blankly watch the heaven collapsing esteemed one strike and the lightning close to the heavenly tribulation that Jeon Myung-hoon unleashed, and close my eyes. Blink. Ah, Uncle Governor. Upon opening my eyes, familiar faces are in view. Quote. Where is this? I hold my head and get up from my seat. He's up, the governor is up. Following the words of Su-in and Hong Yian, the two devil race children, numerous devils rush over. Oh my, Governor, have you awakened? We didn't know what to do since you've been unconscious for 2 days. As I look around at them bewilderedly. Everyone, please step aside. Clank, clank, clank. Jeon Shin rides atop a puppet and approaches me. Are you all right, Lord Governor? Ah, there are a few sore spots, but well, I am fine. But why is everyone reacting like this? Until now, the devils haven't been so friendly with me. Even if children like Su-in and Hong Yian were an exception, to the adult devils, I was just a vile human race native who was their governor. Especially recently, because of the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan, I was the villain who tried to send the devils far away. So why are their reactions like this? I've been sending distress signals to our kin for a while without any response. However, during your battle, a response came. Jianshin continues to explain. The integration stage Grand Cultivators of the Devil Realm, after capturing and interrogating the frontline humans, learned about the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan. They also found out that you were trying to send us far away because of it. Quote. You told the devils about that. It seems the plan was exposed by the integration stage Grand Cultivators of the True Devil Realm. Is that why everyone is so happy? Even though I was someone who drove you away from your homes and exploited you. Ha ha ha, exploit, Lord Governor, my words aren't finished yet. Learning about the Realm Annihilation Heavenly Void Formation plan is one thing, and recently, a tremendous event occurred in the True Devil Realm. Jianshin speaks in a serious tone as his tentacles wriggle. One end of his tentacle points somewhere. It's the Void Spirit Pond. Don't you find it a bit strange, Lord Governor? Why such a strategic area as the Void Spirit Pond was so easily taken over by the human race from the True Devil Realm? Why I, a member of the True Devil Realm's army, never mentioned this Void Spirit Pond to you, and why such precious Void Spirit Ponds were found in 3 close intervals within the human race's occupied territories. Quote. You're saying something's not normal. As I ask with a stern face, Jianshin flicks his tentacle. Over the past few days while you were unconscious, I received a message from the devil forces. A tremendous uproar has occurred in the devil realm. A tremendous uproar, yes. What we are looking at is not an ordinary Void Spirit Pond. Not an ordinary Void Spirit Pond. Yes, according to the information I received, what we see in front of us is a trace left by the heavenly fiends of the Blood Yin realm attempting to enter the Devil realm by scraping the dimensional barriers of the Devil realm from the outside. What? I stand up abruptly from my seat. Does that mean this is connected to the Blood Yin realm? Then, should we not be here? I previously heard, the heavenly fiends of the Blood Yin realm, even if they are of the same devil race, do not hesitate to devour each other and are said to be far more sinister, cruel, and cunning than the devils of the devil realm. However, Jianshin laughs and replies. Ha ha ha, correct, this Void Spirit Pond is indeed made by the Blood Yin realm. However, it is not connected to the Blood Yin realm. What? The beings of the Blood Yin realm grow by feeding on negative and evil energies. Such wickedness allows the beings of the Blood Yin realm to exert their power where it exists. Due to the malevolence accumulated as the human race assimilated and occupied the Devil realm, slaughtering and weakening countless devils, the beings of the Blood Yin realm were successful in connecting the Void Spirit Ponds in the occupied territories other than the 8th territory to the Blood Yin realm. However, the Void Spirit Pond in this 8th occupied territory could not be connected by the Blood Yin realm's heavenly fiends. He grins. The other devils also look at me with smiles filled with relief. According to the Devil Army, the 8th occupied territory is the only human race occupied territory where not enough malevolence has accumulated to connect to the Blood Yin realm. In other words, Lord Governor Seo, due to your benevolence, this territory did not become hell. Quote. For not abusing and exploiting the devils here, in great appreciation we bow our heads deeply in gratitude for your benevolence. Thank you, Lord Governor Seo. Jianshin, along with countless devils who are aware of the heavenly fiends of the Blood Yin realm, bow their heads in gratitude to me. Quote. It is I slumped down on the spot. Somehow, watching them made me think of something I wanted to say to Jaeon Myung-hoon. Something I felt from seeing them, that I wish I could convey to him. Shish. The expressions of gratitude from those thanking me now are added to my artifact spirits. I wipe my eyes and return their greetings. Who should be thankful? I am grateful. Even if this world becomes hell, nothing matters anymore. Everyone, just die. Not everything is meaningless. Even if this world is filled with pain and madness, perhaps there is something meaningful after all. Someday, even if not now. I want to convey that to him. Inside the Void Spirit Pond reflecting dimensions, I harbor such thoughts while receiving the gratitude of the countless devils I have saved. Quote. This is magnificent. A vast procession is heading this way. Giant warships and chariots carrying numerous vast cold jades. And the many human race soldiers flying towards the 8th occupied territory. Wo Wang, the purple sky of the Devil realm is now enveloped in a soft red hue. Wo Wang, with the flying escape technique, familiar faces land outside the barrier of the 8th occupied territory. It's been a while, Chief Strategist. Or should I now address you as military commander? I speak to the cultivator in tattered clothes looking disheveled. Quote. Stop teasing and open the barrier, Governor Co. He bites his lip as he speaks. The left hand and left foot of the Blood Yin realm esteemed one have descended. Fortunately, thanks to Governor Co's defense of the Void Spirit Pond, the left eye has not descended. We plan to hold out in the 8th occupied territory until reinforcements from the Bright Cold realm arrive. Thus, the territory once ruled by a spy for the devils and traitor of the human race, eventually became the last hope for the remnants of the human race. Translator notes. As much as I like heaven entrapping, my left and right ministers who read the Raws have let me know that heaven collapsing is the more apt term, hence the change. Also, Raws use a term that means lightning and thunder interchangeably. Thunder is the more dominant term, but for English readers, it'd break immersion if thunder is used instead of lightning, for example thunder energy cuz, well thunder means sound, not the electricity part. Chapter 174, Even if this place is hell 3. Indeed, you were not wrong, Co Unyun. After accepting the military commander Hyeon Woon and the remnants of the human race, I start a conversation with Oh Yun Sok as we watch more remnants come in. Oh Yun Sok looks quite haggard at the moment. I also tried to stop this unreasonable massacre of the devil race, but after hearing that it could disadvantage the Azure Heaven Creation sect, I was unable to continue through with it. However, you were different. You chose the right path and saw it through to the end. It was nothing more than not letting go of my irresponsible stubbornness. That stubbornness has now returned to us as hope. Thank you for holding on. I give a bitter smile. I just did what is obvious. In modern society, all the goodness, peace, and common sense that were considered obvious are seen as utterly insignificant in this world. That obviousness is never truly obvious. Is that so? Oh Yun Sok suddenly trembles, asking. Wait, didn't you say you couldn't remember? Ah, about the memory. I smile. I've finally recovered them all. Hey, he smiles. Ha 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 ha. Yes, that's right. Bang, Kwang, like Azure Tiger Saint, he heartily pats my shoulder and exclaims. Finally, you're back, Co Unyun. I smile back at him. Yes, Hung Nim. Good, very good. This is truly moving. He grins and laughs heartily. And after a while, the smile gradually fades from his face. Quote. It's good that at least you've regained your memory. Quote. Yes. With Kim Yeon in this state, it's really fortunate that you've recovered your memory. We look with bitter faces towards Kim Yeon, who is sitting in the back. Hey. In the middle of blocking an attack from the Blood Yin realm's esteemed one, Kim Yeon was said to have suffered a tremendous mental restraint on her consciousness during the process. As a result, she is in a mentally impaired state until the restraint is lifted. That vast consciousness, completely suppressed and sealed. It's somewhat similar to the effect of the 5 Elements Blood Curse banner, but much more sophisticated and superior. I tried to release her restraint, but the level of the seal was so absurd that even my mind was at risk of being swallowed by it. To unlock a restraint of this magnitude, perhaps the Mad Lord himself will have to come. Unless he brings the wonderfully mysterious fortress directly and shakes the restriction using the madness it contains, she won't be able to regain her consciousness. It's definitely in the same category as the 5 Elements Blood Curse banner. The spell is deeply embedded in her consciousness, weakening and shrinking it before sealing it. However, if she can overcome the mental restriction on her own, it might be possible to soften and assimilate it for her own use. I estimate that its power will be much greater than my 5 Elements Blood Curse banner. Of course, that's if she can break out of the seal. Hoping for her to break out of the mental restriction on her own under the current circumstances is too unrealistic. It'd be more realistic to defeat the star-shattering esteemed one who imposed the mental restriction on her and learn the method to undo it. The level of mental restriction imposed on her is just that much beyond imagination. I approach Kim Yeon to observe the seal again. The principles of the 5 elements, the 8 trigrams, and even the concept of Taiji are incorporated. Moreover, the distinctive malicious and bizarre nature of the Blood Yin realm is also mixed into the mental seal. I can interfere using the 5 Elements Blood Curse banner, Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, Wonderfully Mysterious Innate Heart Canon, and the Heart Language of Beyond the Path, but to actually undo the restraint through such interference will take about 100 years. Actually, this mental restriction is more of an offensive spell. In my view, this mental restriction is a curse that disperses the consciousness and damages the soul, killing even a 4-axis stage cultivator on impact. It is only precisely because Kim Yeon's consciousness is several orders of magnitude larger than her peers that the curse acted merely as a seal. Her extraordinary ability made the curse, intended as an offensive spell, only have the effect of a mental restriction. Soon, I will have to face the star-shattering Esteemed One who launched such an attack on Kim Yeon. Esteemed One. That title is not to be taken lightly in the Bright Cold Realm, the True Devil Realm, the Blood Yin Realm, and numerous middle realms. Excluding those at the entering nirvana stage, who are akin to mythic beings, the pinnacle of all middle realms ultimately lies with the sacred vessel cultivators and the star-shattering stage is just below them. From the star-shattering stage onwards, one is practically a deity. Even I shudder with unspeakable terror whenever I remember the strike from the heaven-collapsing Esteemed One, Jang Ik. Even the fearsome Mad Lord was defeated in battle against a star-shattering Esteemed One. And that was just a clone sent from a far dimension, not his true body. Can we win? I clench my teeth. There is too much doubt within me. Oh Yun-Sok approaches me with a somewhat gloomy expression. By the way, Co Eun-Yun. Yes, please speak. After seeing the third color last time, I was able to see countless more colors. The more I focus on it, the more colors I can see. He continues. And at some point, I had the thought that I might be able to combine these colors. If I can combine them, I feel like I might be able to fight in an even higher realm. Quote. I feel like you might know about that state. Could you tell me if I'm heading in the right direction? Hey, I chuckle softly while looking at Oh Yun-Sok. Incredible. Could it be that he's already trying to step into the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin? He might not be specialized in martial arts, but he's not bad at it either. Not a freak talent like Kim Young-hoon, but he seems genuinely gifted in martial arts. Just how far can Oh Yun-Sok's martial arts talent go? He can't match Kim Young-hoon. But can he reach the ultimate pinnacle if trained? Kururung. I look far away. The red hue in the sky has been deepening for the past few days. According to Hyeon-woon, it's a celestial phenomenon occurring because the left hand of the Blood Yin Esteemed One is approaching this side. The Blood Yin Esteemed One is expected to arrive here within 3 days. Then, it wouldn't be bad to strengthen our forces as much as possible before then. I decide to help Oh Yun-Sok fully reach the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin. Helping him establish the enlightenment of 5 energies converging to the origin wasn't difficult. He had already realized all intents, understanding that there are no boundaries to all intents, reaching the pinnacle of 3 flowers gather at the summit. All that's left is to integrate intent and evolve the consciousness into one, leading to the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin. Honestly, there was no need to worry. He had literally achieved all the required enlightenment. The only slight concern is the spiritual roots, but even that isn't really a big issue considering what I've studied. In the human race, there had been research on complete transformation and the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin. Martial arts themselves had no room for evolution in this world, but by trying various body refining methods in a similar manner, many methods were developed that produced results similar to martial arts through convergent evolution. The mysterious bizarre innate heart canon is also among these categories. Furthermore, the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin and complete transformation akin to metamorphosis were results of the human race researching demon-beast methods. Demon-beast methods require cultivators to continuously undergo complete transformation, and in the process, many demon-beast methods forcibly create 5 elements spiritual roots by accepting the 5 elements spiritual energy, similar to 5 energies converging to the origin. Such demon-beast methods that create spiritual roots in this way are almost never learned by the Heaven tribe. This is because if one obtains 5 elements spiritual roots through 5 energies converging to the origin, a cultivator with heavenly spiritual roots will turn into mixed spiritual roots. It's a dreadful affair for those with heavenly spiritual roots as it means a degradation in their cultivation qualities. To prevent such dreadful outcomes, the process of obtaining 5 elements spiritual roots was removed from the general demon-beast methods, which became the origin of the general body refining methods learned by the human race. However, Oh Yun-Sok has a unique holy body. He can learn all types of methods. In other words, even if he obtains additional 5 elements spiritual roots with the 5 elements spiritual energy, it doesn't matter. Therefore, if I guide him to achieve the realm of 5 energies converging to the origin, it will actually increase his power, even if just a little. Wooduk. I stand by Oh Yun-Sok, supporting him as he completes his transformation. Slowly, he is completing his transformation by guiding the heaven and earth spiritual energy according to the enlightenment of 5 energies converging to the origin. Single quote. Wait, while observing Oh Yun-sok's transformation, I reach a certain thought. General body refining methods are adaptations of demon beast methods for humans, including the process of obtaining 5 elements spiritual energy. Regarding the 5 elements enduring origin scripture of the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method, one typically does not learn the entire 5 elements enduring origin scripture but only learns one elemental method before moving on to the next stage. Master also based his teachings on the wood element enduring origin scripture to learn the starlight protecting void body and the Azure Spirit striking origin technique. It's only later, at the nascent soul stage, that one weakly draws out the power of the 5 elements enduring origin scripture through a Dharma treasure with the attributes of the 5 elements. Those who reach the nascent soul stage usually possess Dharma treasures of the 5 elements due to the specialty of their realm. But both Oh Yun-sok and I have learned, all, the elemental methods of the 5 elements enduring origin scripture. Then, the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method that Yun-sok Hung and I have learned, isn't it infinitely close to the original demon beast methods? And since I can also form a demon core. Since reaching the realm of treading heavens, I've never formed a demon core. The demon core is already merged into my formless sword, flowing within me, so why bother making another inner core? But now, I'm considering whether forming an inner core while practicing in the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method might be a good idea. The Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method can only be properly trained from the nascent soul stage. So far, it was just a taste, as my master said. Then, I'll have to take the time to do so later. I organize my thoughts while standing beside Oh Yun-sok. The sky gradually reddens. Probably, it's a sign that the star-shattering stage esteemed one is getting closer. And finally, a few days later, under my protection, Oh Yun-sok slowly completed his transformation. He isn't naturally talented in martial arts like Kim Young-hoon, nor did he have medical knowledge of the human body like me, so his transformation was inevitably slow. Kugugugu. And after completing his transformation, Oh Yun-sok somehow seems much more demonic. I bitterly smile, looking at Oh Yun-sok, who is exuding a unique demonic beast aura. Later, when he reaches the ultimate pinnacle, it's uncertain if the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method really evolves into a demon beast method. It's really amazing, Yun. But now, his gaze turns towards the crimson sky. Not only that, but a considerable number of the human race surviving soldiers have come to this vicinity, focusing on the foreboding of something approaching from beyond the distant mountains. Hyeon-woon, too, has arrived at this place and is showing a vigilant attitude towards the existence beyond. It's coming. Hyeon-woon swallows his saliva. Oh Yun-sok clenches his fist. I focus my consciousness and watch the entity arriving from beyond. Thump, thump, thump. The gigantic mountain range. The vibration echoing from beyond that mountain range. It's immense. Not that the being coming from beyond is huge, but the presence it carries feels so enormous it seems suffocating. That is, thump, thump, the Blood Yin Realm's star-shattering stage heavenly fiend. The esteemed one's left hand. Thump, an avatar of a being that transcends the mortal coil. Esteemed one, a part of an entity becoming a deity. Kugugugu. The sky turns blood red. The entire occupied territory, which should have been assimilated with vast cold jade, begins to flow with devilish energy. The entity reveals its form. Just by doing so, the heaven and earth spiritual energy is eroded. Thump. Beyond the mountain range, it reveals its form. Coral, red coral, writhing and surging as if alive. Such masses of coral cover its surface, and on that surface, there are dozens of giant eyes. Those red corals and eyes together form a shape resembling a left hand. The red hand reaches over the mountain range, approaching here. Thus, the confrontation with the Blood Yin Realm esteemed one's left hand began. Chapter 175. Even if this place is hell for. The hand is enormous. The size of one hand is literally enough to cover an entire mountain range. Centered around that gigantic hand, a ceaseless red radiance spreads, dyeing the sky, the earth, and everything between the heavens and earth red. The battle begins swiftly. As Hyeon-woon forms hand seals, 4 nascent souls manifest behind him like spirits, and the shadow of a black dragon clings to him as well. His cultivation surges, and based on this surging cultivation, he executes his spells. Tst. It seems as though a mist has spread everywhere, and Hyeon-woon's voice can be heard in detail as if he is right by one's ear. The mist makes his voice and intentions clearer. Under Hyeon Woon's command, the tens of thousands of remaining human race cultivators exert their strength and launch attacks on the left hand approaching from beyond the mountain range, where barriers are set. Kuging, Kuguguguging. The attacks by nascent soul and heavenly being cultivators, including me and O. Yun Sok at the 4-axis level, as well as several 4-axis stage commanders putting forth all their might results in She, the esteemed one's left hand, emitting smoke from its entire body, momentarily stopping in its tracks. Is it effective? The left hand of the esteemed one. It's difficult to read its heart essence. The structure of its heart essence is entirely different from that of ordinary beings, making it hard to grasp. However, visible wounds can be seen on the esteemed one's left hand, which are somewhat visible to the naked eye. It's effective. Since it's not the esteemed one's main body, it sustains injuries when attacked. If we all proceed with the determination of a decisive battle, we cannot lose. Hyeon Woon desperately shouts, boosting the morale of our allies, and once again begins to press on the esteemed one's left hand under his command. The vast cold jade barrier can even block strikes from a grand cultivator. Even if it is the esteemed one, with just one hand present, its power must have fallen to about the integration stage. Endure and attack. Flap, flap. Water puppets summoned by Hyeon Woon behind us wave large black flags. Then, simultaneously, the command reaches all of our allies' ears, and we reorganize our formation according to Hyeon Woon's orders. Righteous Path Cultivators, forward. Cultivators who practice Righteous Path methods step forward, casting spells imbued with the power of destroying evil onto the esteemed one's left hand. Kugugugugu. The esteemed one's left hand gathers devilish energy from outside the barrier for a counterattack. The esteemed one is attacking. Devilish cultivators, step forward. Devilish cultivators who practice Devil Path methods step forward to form a defensive line. Flash. Blood erupts. At the same time, a tremendous shock hits the top of the barrier formation. Kurring, kurururung. The barrier trembles wildly as if it will collapse instantly, and the devilish cultivators inside are busy fending off the shockwave. SSSSK, SSSSSSSK. What is most despairing is, no, it's regenerating. Don't give it a chance. The corals covering its surface wriggle, and the area we had attacked begins to regrow. Wriggle, wriggle. Simultaneously, the eyeballs sprouting all over its hand writhe and begin to look towards us. Oh Yun Sok screams in horror. Don't make eye contact with it. At his urgent words, Hyeon Woon also raises his voice. It's using the soul-extinguishing yin curse. Kugugugu. Blood gathers in the esteemed one's eyeballs before shooting towards us. Gua. Ah. A few unfortunate cultivators make eye contact with the esteemed one's eyeballs for a moment, and I see the souls of cultivators fighting next to me scatter on the spot. Is that the same technique that Kim Yeon suffered from? The recently killed cultivators are at the heavenly being stage. Even heavenly being stage cultivators die without exception if they're directly hit by the spell. Wang. Gradually, the red light emanating from the left hand subsides. Only then do we look back at the left hand again. In that brief moment when we had looked away, the left hand regenerated any injuries it sustained and is again gathering devilish power. Wang. The sky burns ominously. The crimson sky feels eerily undulating. Everyone, form a defensive formation. Hyeon Woon commands as he waves a flag, and numerous cultivators begin to form a defensive formation together. Wait, that's when I notice something suspicious. Be careful, that's not just one spell. They've cunningly hidden another spell behind that one. Kurarararik. The power of White Orchid Blessing incantation spreads in all directions, overlaying the surrounding area with the clear power of blessings. A curse. It's attempting to use a curse. I can feel it. Only I, who have reached the pinnacle of understanding curses, can feel the thick malice emanating from beyond. Ooh. Flames gather from the undulating sky and soon, a rain of fire befalls. Astonishingly, the rain of flames transforms devilish power into spiritual energy in the air. The transformation of devilish energy into spiritual energy is miraculous. These raindrops of fire, now made of spiritual energy, strike the barrier more effectively than attacks made of devilish energy, shaking the barrier even more. Under Hyeon Woon's command, the devilish cultivators step forward to block the shockwave. After calmly blocking the shockwave, they also easily block the following curse, following my warning. Just then, Ziying, including me, Oh Yun Sok, Hyeon Woon, and others. All cultivators stagger at once. What's this? Through the strange devilish energy enveloping my body, I realize. What? It wasn't two but three. After mixing a curse behind a physical attack, another spell was hidden inside the curse. This attack cleverly breached the barriers of the defensive formation, reaching the cultivators without being caught by anyone. I understand the nature of this attack. It's a mental attack. Zing. With immense agony, I feel my consciousness sink down below. Damn it, it's not a matter of mental strength. By the nature of the spell, it's a technique that inevitably makes one lose their consciousness at least once. I immediately recognize the essence of the ability used by the star-shattering stage esteemed one. It triggers the heart demon, and through that gap, it injects malice, completely turning a human into a monster filled with desire and evil. Since it's a technique that ultimately makes one confront themselves, it affects any being at least once, no matter who they are. Kuwang. I steady my footing, trying to hold onto my collapsing body. No, not quite. I thought I managed to hold myself, but suddenly, I am in a completely different place. This is, within my heart essence. A transparent sword hell. Drip, drizzle, my body bleeds from being pierced by the countless swords of sword hell. The bleeding blood gradually flows and eventually becomes a shadow in front of me. The shadow opens its mouth. Do you think what you're doing has meaning? Do you truly believe you're right? What value does what you've done have? I interrupt the shadow's words. Hey, look here. A smirk. A laugh escapes me. A heart demon. Haven't we just talked about this topic recently? Even if I'm caught by the star-shattering stage esteemed one's ability, couldn't you come up with a slightly more original topic? Quote. That's right. Invoking a heart demon I've already overcome only serves as a laughing matter. An ability that affects any being at least once. In other words, being caught just once is enough. Boom. I stomp on the heart demon that appeared in my heart, bursting it. Ending you is all it takes. It was pleasant to meet you again after a long time. Farewell. Splatter, splatter. The pieces of the heart demon I stomp on explodes, scattering and wriggling around. Then it begins to struggle wildly, trying to dominate my heart essence. Squelch, squelch. The heart demon, or rather what used to be the heart demon, taints and pollutes my entire heart essence. In an instant, the surroundings are enveloped in filthy, sticky darkness. Goodness is meaningless. This world is hell. Look at your heart essence. Isn't it that of someone living in hell? It's only right that everything falls apart. Let's heed the esteemed one's command. The esteemed one will show you a new path suited for hell. Oh ho, what a persuasive brainwashing attempt. Truly terrifying. I simply turn my back and begin to climb up sword hell. Plop, plop. With each step up, my entire body is pierced by swords, accompanied by pain. Woe Wang. And every time I feel pain, I hear the sticky whispers of evil spirits following me from behind. Let's be loyal to the esteemed one. If this world is hell, then surely the laws of hell are the most useful, aren't they? The survival of the fittest. The strong can do whatever they want to the weak. Haven't you too been abused by the strong? The esteemed one will make you stronger than those strong ones. Step, step. This isn't my heart demon. Through my heart demon, the esteemed one infused my heart essence with the malice of others. Yes, it is vice. The esteemed one artificially introduced into my heart essence all the vice that the human race committed in the devil realm. However, without facing these vices, and despite feeling pain, I silently continue to climb towards the peak of sword hell. Behind me, I can feel the sticky screams and gradually feel the esteemed one's sorcery trying to press down on me fearfully. But, stepping on the swords of sword hell, I realize. The swords I step on are all life itself. Yes, each of these transparent swords is a memory of mine. And chi is intent. Having gained enlightenment about planes, I know that the external chi and the internal heart can influence each other. Maybe, as I step on the swords and climb higher, I ponder. The canvas of myriad forms and connections might ultimately be a reflection of my heart essence. These swords represent both pain and wounds. But at the same time, they are a history that proves the traces of my life. Therefore, the canvas of myriad forms and connections that records my history. Wo Wang might have been significantly influenced by this heart essence. Pot. Gradually, faint figures appear behind me. Through the heart essence, I feel the chi of my physical body. The golden core at the center of my body's chi, and within the golden core, the slumbering nascent soul. The nascent soul harboring 3,000 colorless glass swords. The canvas of myriad forms and connections, linked with the colorless glass swords, begin to enter my heart essence in reverse. Step, step, step. I climb the mountain silently, and with each step, more figures appear behind me, widening the gap between me and those sticky voices. The sticky voices are blocked by the figures created by the canvas of myriad forms and connections, gradually slowing down in their pursuit of me. Hey, Blood Yin Realm's esteemed one. Plop, plop, bleeding, I head towards the summit of Sword Hell. I open my mouth towards the esteemed one's spell from behind. You're right, I am definitely living in hell. That this world is hell. I felt it over and over again. Step, step, plop, plop, but, Wo Wang. Gradually, more figures appear between me and that being. Their number is so vast that it's impossible to count, and the esteemed one's voice can no longer reach me through this sea of people. Plop, feeling the sensation of swords piercing through my entire body. I momentarily stop walking and close my eyes. Wo Wang. Then, I look back. Mountain. The mountain of transparent, colorless swords. And a mountain of people formed by countless figures. This is my world, but even if, flash, at the same time, the canvas of myriad forms and connections and the mountain of swords emit light, the pure white light gradually takes shape, transforming into the form of white orchids. The curses that reach the extreme of Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, and my white orchid blessing incantation that transcended and advanced from such a Yin Soul Ghost Incantation. Why does enlightenment that advances from a curse become a blessing? Perhaps, a curse and a blessing are only a hair's breadth apart after all. Both curses and blessings, hell and heaven, are all just a fine line apart. Then, what determines that fine line? Flash, the pure white light that advanced from a curse and the voices of the esteemed one trying to grasp me from below. Towards those voices, a single petal falls. As the petal passes the figures behind me, its number gradually increases. Passing through countless connections, the blessing grows larger and more bountiful. Eventually, it becomes a wave that engulfs the malice. The fine line between heaven and hell is clearly the hearts exchanged between people. Pissed, the white orchid blessing incantation, amplified by the canvas of myriad forms and connections, becomes a white wave washing away the darkness. The esteemed one's sorcery is swept away in an instant and dissipates. This place is hell. It looks as if countless stars are being released into the pitch-black night sky. The night is undoubtedly dark, but it is filled with countless stars, making it not entirely dark. Even if the world of humanity is like a dark hell, if we can respect and cherish each other's hearts, that in itself is virtue. Goodness is not meaningless. Even if this place is indeed hell, that goodness does not disappear. I know. I look down at the myriad connections following me from below. Because I am here, I turn away from them and walk towards an even higher place. Pot. Together with that, my consciousness snaps back, and I return to reality. I take a deep breath and straighten up. I had been momentarily unconscious, and during that brief moment, the esteemed one's left hand reached close to the barrier, gathering power. Looking around, many of the human race's surviving cultivators appear to be mentally eroded by the esteemed one's sorcery, all huddled up, foaming at the mouth, and trembling. It's only because it's me that I was able to overcome such a thing so quickly. For them, it won't be as easy. Wo Wang. Bang. I completely dispel the sorcery the esteemed one had cast on my body and stand up. The energy of the white orchid blessing incantation flows from my body, reversing the esteemed one's spell, and the esteemed one's left hand stops gathering power for a moment and trembles. It seems to be a decisive secret technique, as it felt some backlash when one person shook off the spell. I smile at that sight. Hey, Blood Yin Realm's esteemed one. Wo Wang. The white orchid blessing incantation that blossoms all over me begins to spread in all directions. That spell you just used, it seems to have some backlash if it fails, doesn't it? If so, if everyone here overcomes their heart demons in your spell, that little bit will accumulate, and you'll probably take quite the hit. Flash. The white orchid blessing incantation spreads in all directions. Wo Wang. Simultaneously, numerous ethereal artifact spirits appear around, amplifying the energy of the white orchid blessings. In an instant, the area is filled with blessings, and countless white orchids enter into people's heads. Seeing this, the esteemed one begins to vibrate. Although it's hard to read the esteemed one's intent, I can somewhat tell that they are becoming infuriated. Cooing. They launch another attack. The barrier trembles, and although blood spurts from my body due to the shockwave, I smile. Seeing you angry, it seems I'm right. Flash. The opposite of a curse is a blessing. With Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, one can inflict a curse on the opponent, using various sorceries like Cursed Dolls, Pain Resonance, Corrosion, and Wound Transfer. Then, what effects does the White Orchid Blessing Incantation, the opposite of the curse, possess? There are two effects: amplification of power and guidance of the mind. With the blessing of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation, it is possible to guide a person's mind to a more suitable place, recover their mental strength, strengthen the human spirit, and escape from mental attacks. And this is not limited to me personally but possible for the entire group. Flash. Since the canvas of myriad forms and connections are amplifying my blessings, their effects are now maximized. I've always known, but thanks to you, I've come to better understand the utility of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation. Thank you, esteemed one. From the center of the white magnolia wave, I speak confidently to the esteemed one. With the canvas of myriad forms and connections and the White Orchid Blessing Incantation, my mind is invincible. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. The esteemed one's left hand launches another strike. I cough up a mouthful of blood and briefly lower my body due to the shockwave. As long as the barrier holds and they can stand, I can reverse the esteemed one's spell and deal a significant blow to the esteemed one's left hand. Just then, Wo Wang, quote. The fallen ones around me begin to rise one by one. Ugha, Kuha, these people, I frown, all of them have red glows in their eyes. They are being controlled by the esteemed one. Really, the esteemed one sure does all sorts of things. I let out a hollow laugh and calmly gather my strength. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo. From all directions, numerous cultivators of the heavenly being stage, nascent soul stage, and even four-axis stage are gathering their strength, pressing down on me. Being controlled by the esteemed one, but still trying to escape from its control using the light of my White Orchid Blessing Incantation as a beacons. It's impossible for all of them to reveal their full strength and fight. In that case, Flash, everyone is certainly regaining their senses thanks to the White Orchid Blessing Incantation. All I have to do is wait. I just need to endure. Enduring is something I am best at, after all. Wo Wang, I take out something precious I stored in my golden core all this time. Thump, 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 thump. 3,000 colorless glass swords scatter in all directions, embedding themselves into the ground around me. Let's see. I unfold my storage bag and take out a sip of white red wine I had been saving. Vroom. The colorless glass swords vibrate deeply in connection with my soul. Shall we bet our lives? For the first time in this life, I take out my natal Dharma treasure and assume a stance. The formless sword is imbued into the colorless glass swords. Originally, since the colorless glass swords were made of glass, their durability was practically like glass. Of course, they had become a bit more durable than ordinary glass through the refinement process of a core formation cultivator, but that was it. However, excluding the 1,000 years of General Seo's era where proper refinement through the golden core was not done. In this life's 100 years, I had constantly put effort into refining them with Dan fire. As a result, the colorless glass swords, which originally had the durability of glass, have now grown into Dharma treasures with the durability of bronze. Swords. Although they are quite weak compared to bronze swords, the true value of the colorless glass swords lay in the special abilities emitted by the circuits engraved on the glass swords, so it doesn't really matter. Above all, there's no need to be as careful as before. Unlike glass, which can break if mishandled, having the toughness of bronze swords makes it much easier for me to overlay the formless sword. And that leads to a vertical surge in my overall power. Shriek, shriek, the colorless glass swords, covered with the formless sword, spin around me. The rotation vibrates the air, causing flesh to tremble. Though it seems like the colorless glass swords are spinning away from my body, in reality, they are connected to me through the formless sword. Therefore, record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Swoosh. As the colorless glass swords simultaneously execute the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, the cultivators targeting me begin to look around in confusion. Initially, it was a martial art used to escape by cutting the perception from cultivators. However, this martial art evolved with me as I became a cultivator, obtained the formless sword, learned about planes, and gained the ability to see planes, surpassing its original performance. Boong. The swords hide within the very seams of space. And from those gaps, they slice through the very flow of the world targeting me. Only I, possessing the sight of nascent soul and wielding the formless sword, can perform this extreme limit of extremes. The four-axis stage cultivators can somewhat sense where I am and launch attacks towards me, but since they discover me a breath or two too late, their attacks never reach. Of course, if they used a wide area attack, they would somehow hit me, but such powerful spells are not usable in their current state of being manipulated by the esteemed one. If I can only hold on. Just then, twitch, quote exclamation mark quote, the esteemed one's left hand. The eyeballs on its body precisely stares directly at me, executing the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. Then, numerous people being manipulated by the esteemed one launch a barrage of attacks towards my location. Damn, does this mean even the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts is of no use against someone like the esteemed one? Numerous human race cultivators pressure me. Losing the advantage of sight means I can only be pushed back. Boong, 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 kung, kung, kung. The depth of my footsteps deepen. I perform foolish old man moves mountains, clenching my teeth. Though I am getting stronger, it's still not enough. Silica Earth Great Wall Practice, Thousand Lustrous Forest Sea, Yin Soul Ghost Incantation. None of these can help in the current situation. If there had been more puppets made, things might have been different, but there was simply not enough time. Facing such an overwhelming one against many situation is proving to be too much. What can I do? Kwang, a blue light flies towards me. Oh Yun Sok, with the Azure Spirit striking origin technique wrapped around both hands, charges at me. He is, as expected, the most troublesome of them all. Every time I take a hit from him, it feels as though my entire body is melting away. Kwang, even though I'm getting stronger with foolish old man moves mountains. It's not enough. At this rate, I'll dry up and die before my attacks can be sufficiently strengthened. What to do? Suddenly, the illusion of Kim Young-hoon passes in front of me. What would he have done? He probably would have created a martial art suited for the situation. Can I do the same? I cannot. Creating martial arts isn't difficult with the years of training I have. But mastering a newly created martial art to its peak in the midst of battle and using it freely is nonsensical. Kim Young-hoon, with his absurd talent, could instantly master and utilize a newly created martial art on the spot, but while I can create a martial art, doing something like that is beyond me. Then, how should I overcome this situation? Kwang, after repelling Oh Yun Sok's attack with Echoing Valley, I take a stance and lift the formless sword. The colorless glass swords transform along with the formless sword, complementing the trajectory of the formless sword. Numerous techniques unfold through the 3,000 colorless glass swords, devastating the surroundings. But more attacks are coming from all directions, and Oh Yun Sok is charging at me from the front. If only there was one move that could turn the tide, then I could get a breather. The power of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation is gradually expelling the esteemed one's sorcery. Just a little longer and I will win. But now, I don't even have the strength to hold on a little longer. I'm headed for certain defeat. A strategy, a strategy. If it were Kim Young-hoon, if it were Oh Yun Sok, if it were Kim Yeon, if it were Buk Hyung-hwa. What would others have done in this situation? Just some way. Suddenly, during this moment, I fall into a trance and recall something. Single quote. When I ascended to the realm of treading heavens, I had entered a different path than Kim Young-hoon. It was clear, I entered treading heavens not by following his silhouette but my own. So why am I still looking for Kim Young-hoon, or anyone else? Single quote. I see, because of lived leeching on others until now. I advanced in martial arts leeching on Kim Young-hoon's talent, entered cultivation leeching on the enlightenment of Cheongman Ryong, acquired Dharma treasures leeching on Buk Hyung-hwa's achievements. Leeching on the Mad Lord through 1,000 years, I obtained circuits. A life of only taking from others, living off others. Perhaps that is the talentless life of mine. Ha, somehow, realizing this fact, I find it quite amusing. The enlightenment I gain with the resolve to die is about how well I leech off others. A life of leeching off others. But I smile, looking at the countless artifact spirits watching me from behind. It isn't bad. My entire being is indebted to the kindness of many. If my talent lies in receiving kindness, imitating, leeching on others, and receiving from others. Let's do just that. Let's imitate, follow, chase, and even leech off. Even so, let's protect. I recall the most powerful strike I've ever seen. The strike of the heaven collapsing esteemed one I dreamt of last time. Let's reproduce that. TSTSSTs. That overwhelming destruction. That absurd power. Wo Wang. The formless sword resonates. Instinctively, I can feel it. With my own skills, I can never even follow in the footsteps of that power. Then, even if I have to pour everything into it. Pot. The 3,000 colorless glass swords scattered in all directions combine into one. Colorless glass sword, all heavens. Overlay it with the circuit of the Mad Lord. Inject the power of Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter. The White Orchid Blessing Incantation, the canvas of myriad forms and connections, the Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, the Thousand Lustrous Forest Sea, all the methods of learned, and all my history. Severing Mountain Swordsmanship. If it were Kim Young-hoon, he could probably pursue pure martial arts without any unnecessary techniques. But not me. To pursue pure martial arts, the grace I've received from life is too great and too numerous. The 25th move. Beyond the Severing Mountain Swordsmanship composed of 24 moves. I dedicate everything I've accomplished to blossom anew. Sea of Righteousness. In an instant, I feel my sword entering a different realm. Is this beyond the realm of treading heavens? I can feel it. The fact that I have no talent. Therefore, the realm I'm seeing now is only temporarily reached by imitating the strike of the heaven collapsing esteemed one and squeezing out all my strength to achieve that strike. But this is enough. Mountain of Grace. This strike, imitating everything I've seen and received from life, flies towards Oh Yun-sok in front of me. Pot. My sword pierces through Oh Yun-sok. I can feel it. Ah, my sword, in the plane of soul, precisely digs deep into Oh Yun-sok's soul. The sword that penetrates his soul becomes a heart sword cleansing the sorcery of the esteemed one entrenched within Oh Yun-sok's heart essence, bearing the properties of the White Orchid Blessing Incantation. Pong. Strange. I feel all strength leaving my body as I cough up blood. The backlash of foolish old man moves mountains comes. Why, when I imitate the strike of the heaven collapsing esteemed one's ultimate destruction, does the resulting technique turn out to be completely different from a technique of destruction? Though I only imitated it. Ah, I realize, looking at the artifact spirits supporting me from behind. That's right, my history grew through imitation. Initially, I had nothing, so I was busy imitating, mimicking, and following. But now, haven't numerous footsteps formed behind me? Even if I say I'm imitating now, the imitation might be imbued with my own color. Wo Wang. The heart sword spreads in all directions, scanning the heart essence of the numerous human cultivators infected by the esteemed one's sorcery, and finally succeeds in liberating everyone's consciousness. I glimpsed beyond. Although I didn't reach beyond, having reproduced the strike of beyond once, someday I will be able to reach that place beyond treading heavens with my own strength. I watch as the esteemed one's left hand, furious to the extreme, gathers devilish power. Seeing the many people regaining their consciousness, I sit down on the spot. Kwang. The barrier is finally shattered by their move. Damn, the esteemed one's left hand breached the barrier. Co Eun-yun. Are you okay? Oh Yun-sok rushes to me, supporting me, and I close my eyes with a faint smile. I'm okay. Let's evacuate. They broke the barrier. It's okay. Still, thanks to you, everyone came to their senses. Co Eun-yun. Are you okay? Open your eyes. Cough, cough. I vomit blood, but even then, I smile. It's okay. Everything is. It's late, but just in time. Clink, clink, clink. From afar, a mysterious fortress flying through the air comes towards us. Every struggle I've made is manifesting, one by one. Chapter 176. Master's Grace 8. Wing. The sound akin to swarms of bees buzzing echo in my ears. It isn't a hallucination. Literally, from inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, countless bees emerge, flapping their wings. Each of these bees have the power of the Qi building stage, but I know that the terrifying aspect of these bees is not their simple cultivation level. Bu Wang. The bees cover the surroundings of the barrier, digging up the ground, moving through space, and filling the earth with puppets brought from within the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Gradually, the vicinity itself transforms into a fortress centered around the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The left hand of the esteemed one becomes trapped in the center of such a fortress. Wo Wang. The esteemed one's left hand, with coral sprouting on its surface, wriggles and shoots bloodlight in all directions. Each one is a terrifying curse that shatters the target's mind. However, the compatibility is too poor. Click, click, click. The puppets flinch for a moment under the mental attack launched by the esteemed one's left hand, but then continue their work unaffected. It's inevitable. The artificial souls possessed by the puppets are ultimately fake. Not possessing a high-level heart essence, they are the worst match for the curse techniques of the Blood Yin Realm's esteemed one, aimed at sealing or controlling the heart essence. Realizing that mental techniques are ineffective, the left hand of the Blood Yin Realm's esteemed one starts gathering devilish energy, preparing a technique that involves physical force. Kugugugu. The sky turns red again, and the heavens and earth begin to vibrate. This is insane. Is it intending to blow up the entire occupied territory? Surely, this attack will exhaust a considerable amount of the esteemed one's strength. As proof, the eyeballs sprouting on the left hand shrink, emitting a serious intent. But, it met the wrong opponent. Creak. The three gates of the wonderfully mysterious fortress open simultaneously. And, puppets begin to pour out from within. Not the worker puppets that fortified the surroundings, but the true combat puppets of the Mad Lord. Coo-goo-goo-goo. Single quote. Insane, is it because of the butterfly effect? To produce such puppets much earlier than in my past life. I look at the Mad Lord with disbelief, letting out a sigh of astonishment. I need to stay focused. Otherwise, I might get completely captured by the Mad Lord's strategy and end up being modified next to the esteemed one's left hand. Ah, is that really a part of a star-shattering stage body? I am so moved. I could somewhat grasp up to the integration stage, but beyond that to the star-shattering stage, I have no clue how to grasp puppets of such caliber, and now, such excellent material has appeared before me. Shiver, shiver. Hearing the Mad Lord's voice after a long time is one thing. But more than that, the sight of the puppets brought out by the Mad Lord makes me feel even more goosebumps. Integration stage puppets, 9, 4-axis stage puppets, 204, heavenly being stage puppets. 1050, nascent soul stage puppets. Ah, it's bothersome to explain. Anyway, bring all the star-shattering stage research materials. He, finally. Drool, drool. The Mad Lord, floating above the wonderfully mysterious fortress, looks around with his eyes rolling in different directions. And then, his eyes accurately capture me. Finally. Ah, now, little one, it's time to keep your promise. You clearly promised in the letter sent by that puppet, didn't you? Are you ready? Don't worry, if you're not prepared, I'm very, very eager to evolve everything to properly prepare for it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The Mad Lord, crazily biting his fingers, shouts in all directions. I, sweating coldly, send a telepathic message to Hyeon-woon. Military commander, please evacuate the people. From afar, she leads 8 integration stage puppets, surrounding the esteemed one's left hand. The real battle between monsters is about to begin. 204 4-axis stage puppets support the integration stage puppets from below, forming a formation. I can feel the esteemed one's left hand rolling its eyeballs, gauging the opposing sides. Power. Hyeon-woon, not lacking in perception, hurriedly begins to direct the human cultivators to evacuate. Of course, since it's difficult to escape to the surroundings, the human army's refuge is determined to be one place. The cave with the void spirit pond, located underground of the 8th occupied territory. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo. Quickly, as we are evacuating, the esteemed one's left hand collides with the Mad Lord's legion. Despite the backlash from the mental curse, being part of the esteemed one's left hand begins to push back with tremendous strength even when surrounded by integration stage puppets. However, both before and now, the Mad Lord's tactics have always been consistent. Puppet wave tactics. Wo-wong. As more than 204 axis stage puppets simultaneously form a formation and shine, an enormous burden is visibly placed on the esteemed one's left hand at the center of the formation. With her and 8 integration stage puppets launching a joint attack from outside the formation of 4-axis stage puppets, the esteemed one's left hand is seen being pushed into a defensive position, spreading a red curtain. Damn it. Ko-wong. A tremendous shockwave causes the barrier, which had been ragged from the esteemed one's assaults, to completely collapse. The human army, while seeking refuge, is crushed by that shockwave, each coughing up blood. The barrier is broken. I turn my gaze to the center of the barrier. Sure enough, kurung, kururung, thunder roars, and something is seen rising from the center of the barrier. Jaeon Myung-hoon, his seal has been undone. If he starts rampaging now in his crazed state, it will truly become a scene of utter chaos. Might as well take advantage of this chaos to do what I intended. Having called the Mad Lord, what's important starts from now on. From the beginning, when I wrote to him to confront the Devil Race integration stage grand cultivators, I had planned this. Of course, considering the Mad Lord's unpredictability, I had to think of significant variables, and indeed, many arose, but the overall plan remains unchanged. Riding on Oh Yun-sok's back as we evacuate, I look up at the sky. The Mad Lord is controlling the wonderfully mysterious fortress from above, and the wonderfully mysterious fortress is commanding the battlefield under the Mad Lord's orders. Within the wonderfully mysterious fortress, I can feel the presence of General Seo. Good. From what I can sense, General Seo has been controlled by the wonderfully mysterious fortress and further modified by the Mad Lord. When I sent General Seo to the Mad Lord, I anticipated this result from the beginning. And because I anticipated it, I sent him. General Seo spent 1,000 years inside the Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress. I know everything about the wonderfully mysterious fortress, including the commands that control the puppets, the system of the fortress, and everything inside. It isn't too difficult to secretly input commands inside General Seo's circuit that can disrupt the command system of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. And the Mad Lord, without any suspicion, embedded such a General Seo into the wonderfully mysterious fortress, so the poison I had planted inside General Seo has already spread throughout the entire fortress. Now, it begins. The original plan was to cause chaos in the command system of the wonderfully mysterious fortress using the commands I had inputted into General Seo, while the Mad Lord and the integration stage grand cultivators of the true devil realm clashed. Using that chaos, I planned to activate Yian's play using Kim Yian's abilities and my understanding of the wonderfully mysterious fortress, to awaken the Mad Lord's sanity and seize control of the fortress, ensuring our survival with Kim Yian. However, instead of the integration stage grand cultivators of the true devil realm, it is the left hand of the blood yin realm's esteemed one at the star-shattering stage that clashes with the Mad Lord. Along with the variable Jaeon Myung-hoon involved and Yian's consciousness sealed, the situation has deviated greatly from the original plan. But it's okay. Now, I'll go to Yian, who's taking refuge, and release her from the seal. Originally, I planned to break Yian's seal using the madness of the wonderfully mysterious fortress when it came near, but now I can do so with my own hands. There is no need to take a risk unnecessarily. Besides, Jaeon Myung-hoon is in a crazed state right now, so he might be able to buy us time against the Mad Lord. Kururung. Before long, Jaeon Myung-hoon, having completely regenerated his body, enters the battle between the Mad Lord and the esteemed one's left hand, scattering lightning. The Mad Lord laughs gleefully, showing interest. He, what are you, as well? Oh, I see, you too have experienced sorrow. Ah, yes, a rotten heart essence from enduring such horrible events of losing many people. The Mad Lord, wiping tears from his eyes, speaks to the rampaging Jaeon Myung-hoon. Don't worry, to ensure you no longer feel sorrow, I will evolve you into a superior being in this world. Just die. I will accept you as a general of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. What's your name? This filthy world, I'll sweep it all away. Yes, since you use lightning, how about General Jaeon, lightning for you? From tomorrow, your name will be General Jaeon. Die, all of you die. Ah, are you seeing this, dear? Today, we've found another with a sad story like ours. And by tomorrow, this young one will no longer suffer. Though they are speaking, astonishingly, not a single word of their conversation makes any sense. Single quote. Don't worry. From now on, if my plan succeeds, everyone will find peace. The esteemed one will be annihilated, the wonderfully mysterious fortress will become Yian's. And Jaeon Myung-hoon will be sealed again and find peace. Just wait a little longer. I enter underground, leaving behind the battle enveloped in lightning between the thunder god and the countless puppets in the sky. If everything goes according to plan, it will be perfect. Yes, my plan is perfect. Although the situations deviated a bit from what was assumed, the overall framework didn't change, and neither will the outcome. It was somewhat unexpected for the Mad Lord to clash with the esteemed one's left hand instead of the Devil Race Grand Cultivators, but nevertheless, the fact that the Mad Lord's attention is diverted remains the same. Therefore, I believed everything would go well. I thought everyone could be happy in the end. However, results are not everything in this world. Quote. I get off. Yun soaks back slowly, looking at this scene, where the outcome I had hoped for twisted midway through the process that occurred before me. Stagger. I feel dizzy. Why did this happen? No, why didn't I anticipate that this could happen? If I had somehow collected information that the Blood Yin realm's esteemed one's left hand uses mental techniques, maybe I could have prepared. Crunch. In the underground of the 8th occupied territory. The huge cavern with the void spirit pond. There, the weak devil tribes, unsuitable for combat, had been evacuated in advance. That's why I let down my guard, because they were in hiding. Even when fighting the esteemed one's left hand, I thought they would be safe. But why am I so foolish? A sea of blood. Everywhere is a sea of blood. The devils I tried to protect were all torn apart and scattered. Even in their torn state, they are still wriggling alive. Ah, ah, ah. All of them seem like they will die soon, but they survive tenaciously. Yet even in this state, they are tearing each other apart, scattering red lights from their eyes. Ahuha, it was that, the mental technique used by the esteemed one's left hand. It wasn't just unfolded against us who were fighting on the front lines. The devils in hiding were all subjected to it, influenced by the malice unleashed by the esteemed one, killing each other. Even in their state of killing and being killed, they are still alive due to the influence of the curse and are biting and tearing at each other. Squelch, squelch, I walk through the sea of blood with a dumbfounded expression. Then, from afar, I feel a clear pulse of consciousness ringing. Are there still some who are sane? I hurriedly run towards the location, only to be met with a hollow laugh. Jian Xin, as well as the couple Su In and Hong Yian. These devils, with whom I had become closest since coming to the 8th occupied territory, are holding each other. The female devil, Su In, had her eyes gouged out, and the male devil, Hong Yian, had his legs severed. Above them, Jian Xin, with all the tentacles grown on his body plucked out, is barely alive. This is. I move towards them slowly. Hong Yian and Jian Xin look at me. Jian Xin speaks in a weak voice. Through the mysterious bizarre Gu. I tried to block the blood yin, curse as much as I could. But with my ability, I could only protect these two from the spell used by that being. My hands tremble as I place them on the shoulders of Su In and Hong Yian. You too, I can feel it. Jian Xin did his utmost to protect the minds of the two, but that was the limit. The devil race around them all fell into madness due to the curse used by the left hand of the esteemed one, and it was likely that these two were caught up in that frenzy. It was probably thanks to Jian Xin's efforts to protect them that they managed to maintain their physical forms to this extent. But that was the end. The core. Devils also possess something akin to a demon core, similar to the golden core of human cultivators. This core is essentially the source of a devil's life. But their cores had completely shattered in the recent frenzy. The lives of the two are visibly draining away. Governor, have you come? Su In calls out to me in a feeble voice. Her beautiful eyes are now rendered incapable of seeing anything ever again. Yes, I'm here. I am right here. Over the past 18 years, I have watched these two devils grow. My feelings for them are akin to family, having seen them grow up. But how did it come to this? As I lament, Su In holds Hong Yian's hand. Hong Yian moves his lips slightly, holding her hand in return. His condition seems even more severe than Su In's. Without a doubt, these two weren't overtaken by the esteemed one's left hand, but they are dying soon. As I tremble, Hong Yian speaks. You witnessed our engagement, right? Yes. May I ask for one more favor? Speak. Today. Su In smiles faintly and says. Before we die, please grant us our marriage. Yes, we want your blessing, Governor. I clench my teeth at their words. Governor, please bless us. That way we think we can go peacefully. Looking at them, I am at a loss for words. All I can do is grasp their shoulders with my trembling hands. I force myself to speak. Something streams down my cheeks. Yes, calling forth the white orchid. Blessing incantation, I bless the two of them. Do you both swear to love each other from now on? Yes, from now on, I will be Yian's legs. From now on, I will be Su In's eyes. Su In and Hong Yian, the two devils, receive blessings in front of me and form a bond in Yian. They swear to become each other's eyes and legs, becoming one. And, with all my heart, I sincerely pray for their blessing, holding both of their hands. In the next life as well, may the love between the two of you continue, I earnestly pray for so. Yes, thank you, really, truly. The two souls look at me and smile brightly. Thank you for your kindness. Thus, the two devils I wished to protect died with smiles. So, this is goodbye. Rest peacefully. Jian Xin too, his tentacles writhing, gradually weakens in consciousness. It's time to say goodbye to him as well. Thank you for everything until now. Me too. I see off the last moments of three devils. No, three friends. Chalalalik. The white orchid blessing incantation spreads in all directions, freeing the minds of the devils still captured by the esteemed one. They all meet their ends within the blessing. May you all find peace. I'm sorry. It's all because I am weak, foolish, and powerless that I couldn't protect you. But at least, those who remain, those who are still alive, I will ensure you do not die. I don't know if it's pretentious to say so. But those I still have to protect, I will absolutely not let die. I approach Kim Yeon, who is at a corner of the void spirit pond, unaffected by the technique used by the esteemed one's left hand, rendered idiotic by the seal. Yeon, it's time to wake up. It's time to end everything. Woo woo wong. I grasp the starting form, recalling once again the moment I used that technique. Severing Mountain Swordsmanship. The 25th move, Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. Translator notes. If you remember, the in and su in and Yeon and Hong Yeon mean cause and connection respectively. Together, in Yeon, can mean bond, relationship, karma, connection again, and even fate. The connection in canvas of myriad forms and connections is in Yeon in the Raws. Chapter 177, Master's Grace 9. The 25th newly created move of the Severing Mountain Swordsmanship. Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. In fact, the essence of the Severing Mountain Swordsmanship I created is hard to consider purely martial. The first half of Severing Mountain Swordsmanship, from the 1st to the 12th moves, combines basic forms to extract the maximum power from movements and actions in martial arts. Starting with horizontal slashing in transcending peaks, lower slashing in entering mountain, and upward slashing in ascending vein. The 12th form, 12 lights emerging peak, is also based on numerous stabbing motions. Each form in the first half of Severing Mountain Swordsmanship requires precision and is more focused on the importance of connecting the moves rather than the complexity of each technique. The second half of Severing Mountain Swordsmanship, from the 13th to the 24th move, is specialized in handling the sword energy acquired in the first half, measuring the gap in intent between oneself and the opponent. Especially, the 22nd move, Severing Mountain, is a move that requires hitting the opponent with all the techniques from the 1st to the 21st, making it meaningful only if all those forms hit the target. As such, it demands the utmost ability to measure the opponent's intent and gap. The 23rd move, Endless Mountains Beyond Mountains, and the 24th form, Foolish Old Man Moves Mountains, essentially require measuring the opponent's full strength and one's own physical condition with intent. In essence, the use of the first half of Severing Mountain Swordsmanship involves precise basics and their combination. The latter half focuses on the use of sword energy created from the basics, measuring the harmony and intent, and combat experience is the core of the martial principle. And beyond the latter half, the newly created 25th move. I close my eyes and contemplate the essence of this new technique. I poured my all into that single strike. A move created while following the heaven collapsing esteemed one's single strike. Imitating his strike, an extreme move where I pour in all my strength. If Foolish Old Man Moves Mountain continuously assaults the enemy with tiny forces gathered within my body. Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace is an attack that squeezes out the entire power gathered within my body to the extreme, unleashing it as the ultimate single blow. Then, is the essence of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace a one-hit kill? No. While creating the 25th move, I gathered the enlightenment I realized, closed my eyes, and focused my consciousness. The essence of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace is fusion. The essence is not about squeezing out power to its limit. The essence of the form called Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace was about compressing power to the extreme and using all the myriad miscellaneous powers I had cultivated within that pressure. Therefore, if the fusion is maintained, it's possible to reproduce that strike anytime. Fusion. All the basic techniques of 5 surpassing paths to cultivation. The flow of all methods realized through understanding before breakthrough. Followed by the skills I learned later, Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, 1000 Lustrous Forest Sea, Silica Earth Great Wall Practice. The nuances and flows of various methods flash through my mind. When I first used Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace, the epiphany hit me in an instant, allowing me to unleash it all at once. However, without such a sudden serendipity, I ultimately need to unravel and integrate all methods flows by myself. Thinking about it, I've learned a lot of Earth attribute methods. Yin Soul Ghost Incantation is a method created from the Kun trigram, symbolizing Tai Yin Great Yin Moon in the 8 trigrams. The Kun trigram ultimately corresponds to the Earth among the 5 elements. The Dragon Vein Chi method I learned during my martial arts days is also of the Earth attribute. The first cultivation method I learned is the Earth surpassing path to cultivation, Earth attribute. Yin Soul Ghost Incantation, Earth attribute. Silica Earth Great Wall Practice, Earth attribute. The Devil Legion Terracotta Scroll can vary in attribute depending on the linked Dharma treasure, but my colorless glass sword is made of desert sand, strictly speaking, also Earth attribute. 1000 Lustrous Forest Sea is somewhat wood attribute. White Orchid Blessing Incantation, influenced by 1000 Lustrous Forest Sea, has the power of the wood attribute but ultimately originates from the yin soul ghost incantation, making it a method mixed with earth attribute as well. Somehow, I have a profound connection with the earth. Then, indeed, the center of fusion is the great earth. Countless methods and their intricacies. The 5 surpassing paths to cultivation and the 5 elements enduring origin scripture. Other attribute methods like thousand lustrous forest sea, center around the spiritual energy of the earth. Earth as originally the center among the 5 elements. Even just considering the directions associated with the properties of the 5 elements, it's easy to see that it holds the center. Wo Wang, yellow spiritual energy symbolizing the earth attribute surges throughout my body. Isn't there a saying that the sky is black and the earth is yellow? All earth is yellow. However, I half open my eyes and concentrate my consciousness even more while gathering the yellow spiritual energy. Glass. Melt the earth to refine it into clear glass. Accelerate and temper the spiritual energy to its extreme. Compress the consciousness, merging the consciousness at the plane of soul and the spiritual energy at the plane of chi. TSSTTSSTS. The formless sword materializes in my hand. The colorlessness possessed by the formless sword spreads around, tinting the yellow spiritual energy transparent. But, being colorless means it can also become any color. Here I go. I imbue everything into what I hold in my hand. Not just consciousness, but everything. When reaching the nascent soul stage, a sword as if containing the Milky Way appeared in my hand. Perhaps from the moment I reached the nascent soul stage, I had grasped the beginning of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. The colorless sword transforms into a sword of galaxy containing the radiance of all stars in the universe, all of the heavens, natural colors. It's as if the starry sky is held in my hand. And, looking at this starry sky once again, I am finally able to establish the enlightenment of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace completely. A single strike infused with the soul. The technique of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. Its essence is one's own soul. Or, after infusing the sword with the nascent soul, a deadly single move that fuses all of one's power from within the nascent soul across the 2 planes of chi and soul, into a single strike. Since what I hold is my soul itself, should Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace fail, I will die immediately as my nascent soul collapses. Betting everything in a single gamble, putting the entirety of myself at stake. A move far more dangerous than foolish old man moves mountains. Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. As I execute the move towards Yin, I brace my mind with the will to survive. I become the sword, piercing into her. I realize, through the knowledge of understanding before breakthrough that I've mastered, I can leave the enlightenment of understanding before breakthrough in the other's heart essence. I can also leave the enlightenment of martial arts. The enlightenment about the puppet circuits. The enlightenment about the emotions of felt. With the white orchid blessing incantation, I can bless, and with the yin soul ghost incantation, I can curse. Whoosh. In an instant, I enter her heart essence. With the realm of treading heavens beyond the path, it's not just about seeing others' heart essence. I infiltrate the other's heart essence as naturally as entering my own heart essence. Pats TSTSTS. I enter the origin of countless colors. And in the next moment, I see an immensely beautiful sight. Isn't the human body called a microcosm? Then, what about the human heart? Can the human heart not be called a boundless heart heaven? Like a universe filled with starry heavens. Is this Yin's exterior heart essence? The human heart essence is divided into the exterior heart essence and the core heart essence within, which is the heart essence seen by those who reached beyond the path to heavens. The domain I entered is the exterior heart essence. Those who have reached the realm of beyond the path to heavens can see the heart essence of themselves and others. Why is that? It is because the heart essence, seen by them, is originally located in the deepest regions of human beings. And those who have reached beyond the path to heavens integrate their core heart essence, which resides in the deepest area, with the exterior heart essence. Already having nothing to hesitate about themselves, they can properly see others' heart essences too. However, ordinary people need to go through the exterior heart essence to enter deeply into the core heart essence like I am doing right now. Perhaps cultivators above the 4-axis stage, assuming their consciousness is intact, can attempt to block the intrusion of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. But I enter without any hindrances. Perhaps because Kim Yin's exterior heart essence is unprotected. Entering her heart essence, a distinct feeling captures my attention. This is, a pinkish intent brushes past me. As I become a beam of white light, gliding through her consciousness akin to the universe, I can't pay much attention to the passing consciousness. However, if similar consciousnesses endlessly pass by me, won't I inevitably become aware of them even without paying attention? I like you. In a universe dotted with multicolored stars. As I delve deeper into the core of this consciousness filled with starry skies, I feel the number of pinkish stars gradually increasing. Hello, Deputy Manager. I'm Kim Yeon, the new employee who just joined. Deputy Manager, how do I handle this? Ah, you'll listen. Thank you. Ah ha ha, Deputy Jaeon is picking on you. I don't get along with him either. What? That person became a section chief. What's Deputy Manager's blood type? Oh, you're also type A like me. You like Haeseo Uni too, right? She's really like an angel. Wow, Deputy Manager is also confused by Excel. I find it really confusing too. Should we ask Haeseo Uni for help? You think I haven't been getting along with Haeseo Uni recently? Haha, oh, it's lunchtime, what should we eat? Hee, as expected, sweet and sour pork should be dipped. Oh, Deputy Manager is also a dipper. Seems like we really do get along. It's impossible to look into every memory in detail. But I can faintly hear the voices of the stars. Listening to these fleeting voices, I venture further inside. And then, at some moment, I reach the very center of the galaxy where countless stars gather. Countless consciousnesses and emotions. Among them, the place where the happiest emotions gather. To enter the depths of human consciousness, there are 7 gates. And the gate I have reached seems to be the gate governing love. Just beyond here is her inner heart essence. Her true essence. Suddenly, before leaping into her inner heart essence, I look at a certain illusion that passes through her consciousness. Russell. Ah, I remember. There was a time in spring when I had to go on a business trip to a botanical garden due to work-related matters. Yeon had finished all the business tasks and was walking through the botanical garden with someone. That someone, glorified by her emotions, remained beautifully in her memory. The two stood in front of a quince tree for a moment, admiring it. By the way, do you like any particular flowers? She asked, seemingly curious, to the glorified someone. The glorified someone pointed at the quince tree and said, Does team leader have any favorite flowers? After a moment of hesitation, she started to speak, seemingly embarrassed. I am sure back then. I smile at the memory of that moment. Thinking back on what she said then, it was practically a confession. And I was too dumb to realize it. I'm sorry. Such a fool. I was, not realizing even a confession until it was far too late. But please forgive me. Whiz. At the center of the galaxy. Jumping beyond the clusters of pinkish light and reaching her heart essence, I smile. Even if it's now, I will give you my answer. I enter the passage leading to her heart essence. But there is something sticky and filthy clogging that passage. That thing, reeking of blood and filth. The esteemed one's restraint. Cut. Swoosh. I become a sword. My soul, forged into a sword, cuts through and shatters the obstacles in front of me. Ordinary consciousness techniques would never easily break through this. But, having staked my soul to enter here, I can cut through it all too easily from a position equal to the seal. Wish. The seal crumbles like dust, dispersing into her consciousness and becoming one with her mind. As the seal disappears, I feel a strong resistance from her heart essence. The sealed consciousness is being liberated, trying to expel me, a foreign entity. It's done. She's now freeing herself from the seal. I am naturally ejected from her consciousness. Then, I notice from within her consciousness. From her memories of the moments before falling into ascension path the giant jade. Zap. Trickle. I feel a sharp pain and headache coming on, along with the realization that blood is trickling from my nose. Though it felt like a long moment in the world of consciousness, it was just a blink of an eye after using the technique of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. A mere instant in real time. But in that instant, it felt as though something had struck the upper part of my nose, and I could feel blood rushing from inside. Why am I suddenly bleeding from the nose? Clearly, I had naturally exited the world of consciousness thanks to the resistance of her consciousness. No, that's a ridiculous thought. Karak. An immense feeling of powerlessness envelops me. It feels as though all the vitality in my body has been squeezed out. In fact, it's correct to say that my vitality has been drained. Injecting my nascent soul into the sword, fusing the power of 2 planes into one, and then channeling all that power into the nascent soul across the planes, I executed a decisive strike. Naturally, this took a toll on both my consciousness and body. My consciousness. I had launched a strike that risked not just my life, but my very soul, twice. As the tension releases, I fall forward. And then, gently, Soft hands catch me, preventing my body from crashing to the ground. Thank you, Yun Oppa. She, dressed in pink attire, smiles while embracing. I look at her, moving my lips slightly. Wo Wang, similar to the Five Elements blood curse banner. The restraint that had been sealing her mind until just a moment ago seems to be suppressed by her now, manifesting according to her will. Flash. Above her head, a white circular ring appears, resembling a western crown. Yian, ah, yes, I know. Bo Wang. A white thread of consciousness swiftly passes through my head, and through this thread of consciousness, I convey my heart language to her. A firm determination shines in her eyes. Let's end this war now. Embracing me with one arm, she raises her other. Something has changed, I think to myself, looking at her holding me. She is a bit different from the Kim Yian I know. Is it because I unsealed the restraint for her? Or because the consciousness technique that serves as the seal now amplifies her consciousness? Or is it because, unlike the 1,000 years she spent captured by the Mad Lord, she lived in a place where her consciousness is more stabilized? Various thoughts cross my mind, but looking into her eyes, I understand something. Single quote. I see, just as I had seen countless emotions when entering her heart essence. Perhaps she too had glimpsed a bit into mine. As the saying goes, when you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you. Perhaps, in looking into someone, one must be prepared to be seen by the other. You've read my heart, too. Thank you, Oppa. Kim Yian smiles brightly, clenching her fist. For liking me. White threads of consciousness gather in her hand, and the restraint that had been placed by the esteemed one's left hand shines brightly as a crown, further amplifying the power of her consciousness. It's visible. The consciousness at the plane of soul is overflowing so massively that it influences the plane of chi. Kududugek. The ceiling of the underground cavity of the void spirit pond is torn away. Kugugugu. A loud explosion resounds, and the countless battlefields still raging are brought into view. Kugugugu. In the distance, the esteemed one's left hand is seen being pierced through by her spear and crumbling. The battlefield is heading towards its end. Jaeon Myung-hoon, too, unable to withstand the Mad Lord's human wave tactics, is sealed again as soon as he was released. And then, the Mad Lord's gaze turns towards us below. Oh ho, who do we have here? My disciple. Yes, my beloved disciple. The disciple of Zhou Yian, Kim Yian. I received a letter from that fellow clinging to you. Have you finally decided to fulfill my long-standing wish? Yian ah, oh, my disciple. Good. Let's see. If the results are unsatisfactory, I will embed that guy's head into the body of General Seo, which has been modified to the extreme level of the 4-axis stage. In Yian's arms, I exchange silent words while looking at Zhou Yian screaming in the distance. We silently exchange heart language, sharing our thoughts. Perhaps because we had just deeply connected, our understanding seems even clearer. Silently, we reach out towards the sky. Towards the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Quote. Let's begin. Yes, both she and I reach out towards the wonderful and mysterious world. Without deciding who is first, we stretch out our consciousness and exclaim. Wonderfully mysterious. Innate heart canon. In an instant, the consciousness of the two unravel like threads, spreading in all directions. The consciousness of the two that touch the wonderfully mysterious fortress begin to take control of it. Woo-ah. The Mad Lord's eyes sparkle with interest. Keying. Activate. The poison of General Seo. The influence of General Seo inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress begins to run rampant. In a brief moment, the command system of the wonderfully mysterious fortress is paralyzed, and I quickly mark various places within the fortress with my consciousness. As my consciousness paves the way, Kim Yian's consciousness follows, gradually taking control of the fortress. Although my cultivation realm is lacking compared to the previous life, the mental technique passed on by the esteemed one's left hand and her much more stabilized consciousness added, she begins to take control of the wonderfully mysterious fortress just like in the past. Ah, the Mad Lord, with a distant expression, looks at the wonderfully mysterious fortress and casually throws away the golden core of Jaeon Myung-hoon, which he had just sealed and was holding in his hand. He quickly enters the wonderfully mysterious fortress, followed by her, who had completely dealt with the esteemed one's left hand. Something we had activated together in a past life. Kim Yian might not fully know yet, but I naturally led her consciousness, effortlessly pulling her along to active Yian's play. Unlike my past life, I am not worried about her life force being drained away by Yian's play. Now, I am confident I can sever the link between her and the alternate space-time with the formless sword. And finally, flash, a brilliant light bursts forth from the wonderfully mysterious fortress, triggering the Mad Lord's final puppet show. The puppet that appears as the Mad Lord himself, and the puppeteer is his disciple, Kim Yeon. Yeon's play reveals itself. Wo Wang, I didn't know what form the fully activated wonderfully mysterious fortress would take when Yeon's play is activated. The Yeon's play in my past life was after all within a broken wonderfully mysterious fortress. Honestly, Kim Yeon grimaces with a bitter smile. In the center of the wonderfully mysterious fortress, the Mad Lord is extracting his own life to complete Yeon's play. Kim Yeon's power is indeed being drained into it, but compared to the Mad Lord who became a puppet directly inside, her power is draining less. It's beautiful. Really, it doesn't suit a madman at all. Perhaps, as I maintain activation of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon with her, I see the wonderfully mysterious fortress shining brilliantly before us. The wonderfully mysterious fortress is shining more brilliantly than anything we had seen before. Perhaps at that moment, even he might have not been insane. Intents of the artificial souls, previously unseen, flutter into view with the naked eye. Those souls spiral around the wonderfully mysterious fortress, forming a rotation. All the brilliance of the wonderfully mysterious fortress spirals, creating an appearance as if being sucked into the center of a galaxy. And from the center of that galaxy, a golden radiance signifying joy splendidly reveals to the naked eye through the wonderfully mysterious fortress. A tree. It's a golden tree. Wo Wang. The golden energy spreads throughout the wonderfully mysterious fortress, overflowing and extending beyond its confines. It's as if with the wonderfully mysterious fortress as the trunk, golden branches stretch out in all directions. That tree. I have seen it before. It is exactly the same shape as the rotten tree existing within the Mad Lord's heart essence. But unlike that decaying tree, the golden tree marking Zhou Yian's end shines too brilliantly. The branches are bare, no leaves, no flowers adorn it. Yet, I feel as if those bare branches are supporting the heavens. Perhaps, the leaves and flowers of that tree are the unpredictable sky itself. Music flows from within the tree. The melody of the twin immortals. The twin immortals' melody traditionally serves to comfort the souls of those captured by demon beasts. Listening to the soul-claiming requiem emanating from the center of gold, everyone gazes at the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The esteemed one's left hand and Jaeon Myung-hoon were put to rest by the Mad Lord. All urgent fires are extinguished, and now is the time to rest. This includes Hyeon Woon, and those cultivators who greedily exploited other races for their own gain. Both the wicked and the virtuous. All, without discrimination, catch their breath listening to the soul-calming requiem. Exhausted, I forcibly turned to look behind me. Those I sought to protect were all horrifically killed by the esteemed one's power. The righteousness I defended was so ruthlessly trampled by an unstoppable force. Now, all the meaning I have upheld is gone. However, farewell, I have no regrets. The brief moments we spent together. So what if it's meaningless? I will give it meaning. I will remember you, and I will honor you. Even if I gained nothing, I will use this time as nourishment to grow further. So, to all of you, I will never forget. I am truly grateful. Within the requiem, I close my eyes, remembering those precious ones who had died. Thus, all the events in the true devil realm came to an end. Kugugugu. Atop the wonderfully mysterious fortress with Kim Yeon, I bask in the wind of the true devil realm. The Mad Lord's wonderfully mysterious fortress is now hers. She hasn't moved since activating the Yeon's play. After burying Zhou Yeon and her next to the Void Spirit Pond, Kim Yeon and I are leading the wonderfully mysterious fortress towards the bright cold realm. Numerous remnants of the human race also following us. Under Kim Yeon's command, even without her, there are 8 integration stage puppets remaining. Now, even the human race Grand Alliance can no longer ignore us. Yun Opa, facing the devilish energy of the true devil realm, she looks down into the wonderfully mysterious fortress with a bitter smile. Can we save Section Chief Jaeon? Silently, I looked inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress. At the sealed golden core of Jaeon Myung-hoon. Although sealed, our eyes, capable of seeing intent, clearly see it. The emotions emanating from Jaeon Myung-hoon's golden core. After all, we are from the same hometown. And though she doesn't know, to me, the little harassments from Jaeon Myung-hoon don't matter much anymore. Even the plots to offer me as a sacrifice to the demon fox, annoying as they were until reaching beyond the path to heavens, ceased to bother me after capturing and beating the fox to death. Moreover, I can fully understand the feelings of someone who had lost everything, so I didn't want to keep him sealed forever. Let's find a way, I say, looking down at Jaeon Myung-hoon. There must be a way. The bright cold realm is vast. As we explore the bright cold realm, eventually we'll find something that can help heal him. When my memory was intact, I paid him no mind because he seemed so inconsequential. When I lost my memory, I didn't pay attention because I couldn't clearly recall who he was. But paradoxically, after regaining my memories of him, I finally started to care about him. It's a bit surprising, Oppa. You had quite a bit of trouble with Section Chief Jaeon, right? Right. I nod readily and smile at Kim Yeon. That's why it's even more important to bring him back to his senses and receive an apology. Good or bad, all relationships are ultimately connections. Then, wouldn't it be better to definitively receive an apology and tie up those bad connections? Of course, in the case of someone like Yuan Lee, reconciliation might require a few more rounds of tearing him apart. But Jaeon Myung-hoon wasn't to that extent, so receiving an apology when he is in his right mind would be sufficient. As we are talking, it looks like you lovers are having fun. Thump, Oh Yun-sok flies over using his flying escape technique and lands next to me and Kim Yeon. Sorry to interrupt, but something seems to be chasing us from behind. Chasing us? I'm not sure. It seems like an integration stage grand cultivator, and it appears to be just one person. Did Kim Yeon say this is the wonderfully mysterious fortress? Even if she can control it, fighting an integration stage will be troublesome, so how about we speed up? Yes, let's do that. Kim Yeon readily agrees and increases the wonderfully mysterious fortress's pace. Soon we'll reach the mainland of the bright cold realm. The human territory. Just then, Wang, Hyeon-woon, who had been recuperating inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, flies up and lands on the roof. Oh, what brings you here, Chief Military Strategist? Well, there's a lot to say. For starters, the integration stage grand cultivator chasing us from behind seems to be, for some reason, the Black Dragon King Hyeon-eum, the progenitor of our mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Ah, then it doesn't seem to be an enemy. However, my words are cut short as Hyeon-woon grimaces and says, no, increase the speed. Excuse me, those with the immortal beast bloodline are influenced by the consciousness of others with the same bloodline. Usually, a higher realm being has a significant influence on cultivators of a lower realm. Right now, I'm being influenced by the Black Dragon King's consciousness. He holds his head and frowns. For some reason, the Black Dragon King is currently in a state of extreme rage, seething with anger. If we stop here, a battle might break out, so we must keep moving forward. Why is the Black Dragon King so angry? I ask, puzzled. Hyeon-woon sighs deeply and shakes his head. I don't know, don't ask. Confused, we sit atop the wonderfully mysterious fortress, watching the landscape of the Devil Realm pass by quickly. Soon, the scenery of the true Devil Realm will come to an end. Farewell, true Devil Realm. I have learned and experienced much. I express my small gratitude towards the true Devil Realm itself, looking ahead. There, the entrance between the true Devil Realm and the bright cold realm we used to cross over. The first occupied territory where the entrance is located comes into view. Well, despite everything that happened, Oh Yun-sok chuckles and says, everyone did a great job. Now, let's go back. We head towards the first occupied territory, towards the dimensional gateway to the bright cold realm. Surely, we arrived. Wasn't there a dimensional gate here? Kim Yeon's face stiffens as she looks around. I also look around. It's certain. That is the place where I first set foot in the true Devil Realm. That is the spot. But why? Why is the dimensional gate gone? Oh Yun-sok shouts. Hyeon-woon, with a stiff face, closes his eyes and uses some technique. Then, his eyes suddenly open wide. Ha, ha ha, his voice is filled with resignation. Ha 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 ha, damn it, the human race Grand Alliance has closed the gate from the other side. Excuse me, the traces in space show the gate closing technique used by the human race Grand Alliance. What does that mean? Not to mention there are still many human race cultivators left in the true Devil Realm. Our life markers are still lit. His following words leave me feeling disoriented. From the perspective of the Grand Alliance, it must have been more important to block the star-shattering esteemed one's avatars in the True Devil realm or the integration stage Grand Cultivators from the True Devil realm than to worry about the human cultivators who still haven't returned. Quote. We are trapped in the True Devil realm. Chapter 178. Master's Grace 10. Crack. It feels like my head is burning up with a fever. What kind of nonsense is this? There are more than just a handful of human cultivators waiting to return to the bright cold realm aboard the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Although they are remnants, their numbers exceeded thousands. Even if this is a mere speck compared to the total population of the Grand Alliance, can they be discarded so carelessly, like worn-out shoes? Is there really no way to open the dimensional gate? No. To open a dimensional gate, one must settle near the boundary of the dimension and use techniques to interfere with the dimensional barrier for over 10 years. Well, since the bright cold realm side closed the gate, it might be possible for them to open it again, but so it's impossible from the True Devil realm. Hyeon Woon nods grimly, murmuring. Opening it was difficult, but closing the dimensional gate also requires considerable effort, so I thought that they wouldn't close it without reason. Why on earth? Dismay settles on all our faces. Suddenly, Hyeon Woon looks back at the path we had come from. Wait, more importantly, the Black Dragon King is coming this way. At his words, Oh Yun-sok asks in confusion. Why is this Black Dragon King following us? No, rather than that. Isn't he coming this way because he's furious that the human side closed the entrance to the Devil realm? After a moment of contemplation, Hyeon Woon sighs. That's a possibility, so let's avoid the area for now. It would be troublesome if we arrive at the dimensional gate and he takes out his anger on us because of his grievances with the human race Grand Alliance. Following Hyeon Woon's advice, Kim Yeon steers the wonderfully mysterious fortress to another location. As we cross over a couple of mountain ranges to a different area, Oh Yun-sok asks Hyeon Woon, seemingly puzzled. By the way, Chief Strategist Hyeon Woon seems reluctant to meet this Black Dragon King. Since he's supposedly your ancestor, why suggest fleeing instead of talking? It's a personal matter of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. No need to worry about it. Hyeon Woon frowns slightly, then turns his head towards where the Black Dragon King is. And then, Hyeon Woon suddenly stands up, biting his lip. Damn, he's chasing us. He's not enraged because the human race side closed the gate. He was chasing us from the start. At his words, everyone tenses up. Prepare for battle, we don't know what's going to happen. Kururung. Shortly after, the sky fills with dark yin energy and something appears in the distance. It's a dragon. It's massive. I laugh hollowly at the overwhelming size. Mountains. If a long mountain range flew across the sky, wouldn't it look like this? The true body of Seo Whale I saw in the head realm is nothing compared to this enormity. If this is what a real dragon is, then Seo Whale is just a baby snake by comparison. How many li long is it? It's immense. Most of those present are dumbstruck, uttering words as they behold the colossal body of the Black Dragon King chasing us. And then, kugugugu, the yin energy between the heavens and earth vibrate, and soon the Black Dragon King charges towards us, circling the wonderfully mysterious fortress. As his head the size of a mountain circles the wonderfully mysterious fortress once, his body naturally wraps around the fortress, engulfing it. Wo Wong. Dark clouds appear around the Black Dragon King, and he places his head and feet on the clouds, resting his body atop them. I watch him and suddenly think it's strange. Anger, that's for sure. But, what's that? It's difficult to read his emotions properly. Is it simply because his realm is so high? Or is he using some magic artifact to obscure the Hard Tribe's vision? Yet, it feels distinctly different from the sight-avoiding techniques used by Seo Whale or the glimpses I had caught from other integration stage Grand Cultivators. It's as if his thought structure is entirely different from that of typical living beings. What exactly is it? This feeling. It's the same as when I saw the left hand of the star-shattering stage esteemed one from the Blood Yin realm. Hyeon Woon, trying to shake off his dark complexion, stands up and pays his respects. To the ancestor, Elder Hyeon Woon of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect greets you. Thump, thump, the Black Dragon King's large eyes move to look at Hyeon Woon's face. Shortly after, Black Dragon King clicks his tongue. Tisk tisk, worthless. The bloodline is too poor, breeding wouldn't pass on any good bloodline. Hyeon-woon's emotional state visibly fluctuates at the Black Dragon King's words, treating Hyeon-woon like livestock with such casual talk of breeding. However, Hyeon-woon does not show his feelings on his face, calmly addressing the Black Dragon King. If the ancestor could share why you have sought us, I would be grateful to listen. It's not you humans I sought. Be quiet. More importantly, his gaze turns towards the wonderfully mysterious fortress. In that fortress, isn't there a cultivator in the entering nirvana stage hiding? Bring that person to me. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Everyone's expressions turn puzzled at the Black Dragon King's words. Isn't that too abrupt? There's an entering nirvana stage cultivator in the wonderfully mysterious fortress. What kind of nonsensical talk is that? Even star-shattering esteemed ones have only been seen as avatars or fragments, never their true forms. And suddenly, an entering nirvana stage cultivator, when even sacred vessel stage cultivators are only heard of by name. While I and others are bewildered, Black Dragon King growls with revealed rage. His emotions are hard to read due to being so different from ordinary beings, but as the rage intensifies, it becomes somewhat understandable. Who dares to break the promise with me and interfere between the true devil and bright cold? Have all entering nirvana stage entities forgotten they must remain entrenched only within the astral realm? Zap, zap, my whole body trembles. This being, not just an integration stage. This pressure feels different from her. No, no, the power itself feels like it is at the pinnacle of the integration stage. But I had never felt such pressure even when facing the her that Mad Lord had advanced to the star-shattering stage. What is this being? Promises with entering nirvana stage entities. And an entering nirvana stage in the wonderfully mysterious fortress. As I am puzzled, Black Dragon King begins to show signs of confusion. What? If it's an entering nirvana stage entity, they cannot ignore this promise. Who are you? Are you a being from another heavenly domain? No, that cannot be. If an entering nirvana stage being crossed from another heavenly domain, nobody would be unaware. But an entering nirvana stage being is now feeling my presence and still remains quiet. Muttering incoherently, he speaks with a trembling voice. ... It can't possibly be, but I'll ask you humans. Black Dragon King's gaze turns to Kim Yeon, who is controlling the wonderfully mysterious fortress. A few days ago, the event that manipulated fate's attraction and ripped through space-time that wasn't the deed of an entering nirvana stage cultivator but the inherent ability of this fortress was it. Quote, only then do I realize what the Black Dragon King misunderstood. He felt the power of Yeon's play and mistook it for the act of an entering nirvana stage cultivator. The final act unfolded by the madman in this lifetime. It seemed to be of magnitude corresponding to an entering nirvana stage being. Kim Yeon nods. The power of this wonderfully mysterious fortress gathered spiritual energy from the plane of Chi to draw together artificial souls, and then used the movements of these artificial souls to influence the plane of fate, based on which it momentarily distorted space-time. Indeed, this is an inherent ability of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. However, all the main mechanisms were overloaded and ruptured, so it will take a considerable amount of time to use that ability again. Black Dragon King's complexion changes. His strong emotions made it somewhat understandable to read. Incredulity. The look of utter disbelief. After observing us for a while, Black Dragon King rolled his eyes. Well, if that's the case, I understand. It doesn't seem like you're lying fine. It seems an entering nirvana entity hasn't killed the child of the blood yin. Then, Kugugugu. Black Dragon King's energy begins to permeate the sky and earth. Just die. Kuring kururung. It's cold. Suddenly, the energy from all directions plummets. The unmistakable power of a pinnacle integration stage being. A monstrous entity capable of reproducing the explosion of the realm annihilation heavenly void formation with their own strength. But that's it. Wo Wang. Kim Yeon activates her consciousness. Simultaneously, the wonderfully mysterious fortress vibrates, and a total of 8 orbs of light position themselves in all directions around the fortress. Wo Wang. 8 integration stage puppets block the momentum of the Black Dragon King. I vaguely feel Black Dragon King's pressure and am certain. Indeed, the pressure felt just now is not of an integration stage being, but the power it possesses is merely at the integration stage level. There is absolutely no reason for us to lose. Sure enough, the Black Dragon King, upon seeing the 8 integration stage puppets, once again displays an incredulous expression. Puppets of a level comparable to mine, are they the creations of that notorious Mad Lord? Ha! He sneers bitterly and roars. Kurururung. Come forth, esteemed one's left foot. Simultaneously, behind the Black Dragon King, 4 nascent souls rise, creating a square spatial rift. Beyond the spatial rift, a reddish light shines, revealing something crimson. Chalalalik, a foot made of countless corals. If the esteemed one's left hand was still in the shape of a hand, the esteemed one's left foot looks more like a sea anemone of bones rather than a foot. Red corals intertwine and form a bone-like structure, with the bones sprouting and entangling like tentacles. Just as eyes sprouted on the left hand, numerous mouths sprout on this left foot. Wriggle, wriggle, wriggle. The esteemed one's left foot moves, gathering the devilish energy of heaven and earth. Hyeon Woon, shocked by the sight, speaks with a trembling voice. Ancestor, why did you summon the Blood Yin realm's esteemed one? No wait, have you betrayed the bright cold realm from the start? Black Dragon King, unfazed, summons the esteemed one and gathers power. Kugugugu. Black Dragon King growls, looking down at us. With the esteemed one's left foot, handling 4 integration stage puppets should be manageable. And, behind the Black Dragon King, a massive shadow resembling the Black Dragon King appears. As a being with the blood of immortal beasts, sweeping you away is nothing difficult. Kwang. The next moment, we fail to properly perceive what just happened. What? The surroundings are dark, and confusing, but familiar. This place is the void space. I am astonished upon realizing what just happened. With a single move of the Black Dragon King, the entire space where we existed crumbled, and we all entered the void. Kugugugu. And then, in the darkness far away, I can feel the Black Dragon King coiling and gathering power. Bu Wang. The wonderfully mysterious fortress opens, and numerous puppets join the integration stage. Puppets. However, on one side, the esteemed one's left foot scatters crimson light and contends against the puppets, inevitably dividing our forces. By the decree of the heavens and earth, in the name of the Black Dragon King Hyeonium, I create the Black Sea. Urung. The next moment, dark clouds fill the void and the scenery changes. In the nothingness of the void, a sea of pitch-black water appears. Cha. Below is the Black Sea and above spreads the dark clouds. From the center of the Black Sea, Black Dragon King begins to exert his power. Jeek. He opens his mouth. Ashen orbs of light gather at the corners of his mouth, illuminating the murky world of the blackness. Flash. The ashen beam fires towards us. The impact splits the sea in two. But Kim Yeon calmly manipulates the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Soon, orbs of light also gather in the wonderfully mysterious fortress, emitting a beam similar to the Black Dragon King's. Kugugugu. The two beams collide. The wonderfully mysterious fortress is also a puppet. It's enough to keep the Black Dragon King in check. The beam from the Black Dragon King and the wonderfully mysterious fortress clash fiercely. Just then, Kugugugu. The sea that split due to the shockwave of the beams begins to change its form. The split sea transforms into a massive jaw. Sharp teeth sprout from the jaw, quickly morphing into a giant mouth. It's the maw of an immense dragon. The dragon's mouth swallows us whole. Bu Wang, Pong. One of the 8 puppets step forward. The puppet is made from the body of an integration stage cultivator of the cold spirit race. As this puppet extends its hand, the dragon's maw made of sea instantly freezes over. Not stopping there, as the puppet forms hand signs, the entirety of the heavens and earth freeze in an instant. The sea, the clouds, the void. In a moment, the surroundings turn into winter. Cha. A blizzard sweeps through, seemingly trapping the Black Dragon King in a prison of snow. But the next moment, ashen light bursts forth from within the prison of snow. Kugugugu. An immense momentum surges from around the Black Dragon King, and he flies towards the wonderfully mysterious fortress. A puppet made from an integration stage cultivator of the Western Flame race steps forward, raising a sword made of flames. Black Dragon King extends his horn, colliding with the sword raised by the Western Flame race puppet. Kwang. Instantaneously, the shockwave spreads across the entire world, splitting the frozen sea and sky merely with its aftermath. Each aftershock is of a level equivalent to a strike from Song Jin at his prime. This is the battle of integration stage beings. However, not just Kim Yeon, but also I, who have a deep understanding of puppets, look troubled. The Western Flame race puppet. The puppet that directly received a strike from Black Dragon King is already showing signs of deterioration. In contrast, Black Dragon King, unharmed, quickly opens his mouth to prepare a dragon's breath towards the Western Flame race puppet. If the battle continues this way, we will gradually be pushed back. If she were here, we might have had a chance to win. After Yian's play, she was completely destroyed, so there was nothing we could do. The Cold Spirit Race Puppet and the Western Flame Race Puppet cling to Black Dragon King, pouring attacks onto him. The Mountain Monkey Race Puppet, moving swiftly like a monkey, draws Black Dragon King's attention. Quang! A strike from the Mountain Monkey Race Puppet hits Black Dragon King, and mountains begin to rise from where it struck. These mountains, growing like tumors, continue to expand while sucking the Black Dragon King's energy. Behind the Mountain Monkey Race Puppet, the Supreme Tiger Race Puppet, shaped like a tiger, leaps forward, biting Black Dragon King's neck. Goo. The power of the Supreme Tiger Race Puppet is simple. Overwhelming physical strength. Each strike has the brute force to tear apart space. That is the ability of the Supreme Tiger Race Puppet. In addition to that, 204 4-axis stage puppets are divided between the esteemed one's left foot and the Black Dragon King, providing support. Occasionally, the wonderfully mysterious fortress will not forget to shoot beams at the Black Dragon King. Thus, it appears like we are pushing the Black Dragon King into a defensive position. Yes, it appears so. Quang! Black Dragon King shakes off all the puppets clinging to him, sending them flying all at once. And then, pong! The next moment, Black Dragon King moves at an astonishing speed, encircling us. So fast, the places his body brushes by dissolves into black water. Gradually, the surroundings again transform into the Black Sea, and the waters of the Black Sea pressure us from all sides. Chalk! Finally, the Mountain Monkey Race Puppet gets caught in the black waters. Woodook, woodooduk, the sound of the Mountain Monkey Race Puppet cracking and gradually breaking is heard. Quang! The next moment, Black Dragon King's horn strikes one side of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The wonderfully mysterious fortress shakes tremendously, and although Kim Yian attempts a counterattack, Black Dragon King already retreats, gathering energy in his mouth. It's not just about the difference in power or size, but the extensive combat experience. When one reaches the realm of an integration stage cultivator, their lifespan becomes unimaginably long, having experienced all sorts of events throughout the ages. Thus, the combat experience accumulated over countless battles and years would be tremendously vast. Pong! Black Dragon King's breath heads our way. Kim Yian gathers energy from the wonderfully mysterious fortress to counter the Black Dragon King, and the other integration stage puppets also aim towards the Black Dragon King. But the next moment, cheek! A square spatial rift opens behind the Black Dragon King, and he swiftly disappears through it. Immediately after, from beneath the Black Sea, the Black Dragon King emerges, flying up behind us. What? He unleashes the breath he has been gathering. We can't blow. The next moment, I wrap my arms around Kim Yian to protect her from the shock, gathering strength for the impending impact. Quote. And then, nothing happens. Quote. A shadow. Someone's enormous shadow shields the wonderfully mysterious fortress from the Black Dragon King's strike. I recognize the identity of the shadow and ask with a trembling voice. Quote. Master, she. Smoke rises from the entire body of Azure Tiger Saint, who received the Black Dragon King's breath. Azure Tiger Saint turns around and smiles. Sorry, I was a bit late trying to persuade the petty leaders of the Grand Alliance and breaking through the dimensional gate. Chalalalik, Azure Tiger Saint, my master of this lifetime. Return to where the dimensional gate is. I will help you. Behind him, 10 pairs of wings sprout. As you are my disciples. Goo. I realize how Azure Tiger Saint managed to block Black Dragon King's breath. And I also realize the legend passed down in the Azure Heaven Creation sect, of the Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter performed with 10 pairs of wings. I will take responsibility as an adult, even if it costs me my life. Wu Wang, a blue light envelops Azure Tiger Saint, the final, 10th pair of wings of the Azure Heaven Creation sect, obtained by burning one's own life. The master of the sect has come to this point, igniting his life to rescue his disciples. Translator notes. I thought I just had to remove RTOC from the Ko-Fi page, but apparently I had to remove it from the website itself. As y'all probably noticed, I changed to Buy Me a Coffee lol. Chapter 179, Master's Grace 11. What a funny guy. Black Dragon King laughs, baring his teeth. A human of the human race who has mastered the body refining method. Daring to stand before me. Do you not know that the vast majority of body refining methods you humans learn are but inferior versions of the demon beast methods? To boldly use an inferior method before me, one of the strongest of the Earth tribe. Azure Tiger Saint remains silent. Sheeing. Quote. I am startled as I look at Azure Tiger Saint. The color, it's changing. It's just as said. The Azure Spirit striking origin technique contained in his fists, which should have been rippling with a blue light in his wings, are gradually changing to a different color. Redness gradually fades from the body of Azure Tiger Saint. It's clear without asking. It's the essence of his life, the energy of his blood, rippling and leaving the body of Azure Tiger Saint. The blue of the Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter and the red of Azure Tiger Saint merge, turning into purple. As the 10th wing unfolds, Azure Tiger Saint transforms into the incarnation of purple. His appearance seems vaguely similar to Ouyun Sok, who had transformed his body with the energy of primordial chaos. Ha! You dare to oppose me? A mere body cultivator. Kurring, Kurururum. Dark clouds begin to gather around the Black Dragon King, augmenting his power. However, Azure Tiger Saint pays no heed and walks towards the Black Dragon King. Kung, Kung, Kung. With each step forward, his entire body gradually becomes larger. With one step, he grows as much as a Fen 0.32 centimeters with 2 steps, a Kun 3.33 centimeters with 3 steps, a Kai 32.3 centimeters. After 4 steps, he grows as much as a Ren 165 centimeters, 5 steps a Gien 1.8 meters, and after 6 steps, he grows as much as a Ting 110 meters. Finally, after 7 steps, Azure Tiger Saint's body has grown as much as a Li 500 meters. Kwang, 8 steps. Azure Tiger Saint grows another 10 Li. Kwang, 9 steps. 100 Li. And at last, 10 steps. Kwang, what? Black Dragon King is flustered. The body of Azure Tiger Saint continues to grow. That's the giant transformation technique that can be unleashed at the heavenly being stage through the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method. But this transformation is even more immense than what I have heard. Burning his life to gain power beyond the 4-axis stage. It's a power that can't be explained otherwise. Soon, Azure Tiger Saint, now far larger than the mountain-sized Black Dragon King, raises his fist. Akin to a titanic deity in purple. Suddenly, Azure Tiger Saint's wings retract into his body, and 2 purple dragons ride on his arms. What? Before the Black Dragon King can fully regain his composure. Kwang, Azure Tiger Saint's punch plummets down on the Black Dragon King. Kuguguguging. Literally, the heavens and earth split apart. The Black Sea created by the Black Dragon King is torn asunder. And the Black Dragon King, who had seemed formidable in our confrontation until now, coughs up blood and falls. You bastard, are you burning your life? Kururum, Kurring. The body of Azure Tiger Saint appears like a purple universe. Within his body, numerous purple celestial bodies can be seen floating. Azure Tiger Saint remains silent. Even as he faces Black Dragon King. He just keeps pressing on. That's the Azure Spirit Starlight Quintessence Great Method's final stage. The state of Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter becomes the base while life is burned. The ultimate technique of the Azure Spirit Striking Origin technique, the Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter, is wrapped around the fist. After transforming into a giant deity through celestial body transformation of the starlight protecting void body, the tremendous power of the 5 elements enduring origin scripture supports him. Fighting against the Black Dragon King, surrounded by darkness, his giant form looks like a purple celestial god. Kim Yeon doesn't just watch. She controls the integration stage puppets to press the Black Dragon King. The Black Dragon King, who had been fighting evenly against the integration stage puppets, begins to be pushed back. No, he was clearly being driven back by Azure Tiger Saint. Quagwong, with every punch from Azure Tiger Saint that grazes his scales. It is visible to the naked eye how the body of the Black Dragon King is being torn apart. Kwang, the Black Dragon King is blown back, coughing up blood. He glares at us, bleeding. You, KRH, dare. He is furious. The Black Dragon King roars. Do you think I would lose to the likes of you? I do not lose. I am the Black Dragon King, Hyoeum. I will return to my grand position. Chi. Simultaneously, a red aura begins to swirl around his entire body. Between the Black Dragon King's black scales, red blood energy starts to surge. Very well, now that I know your determination, let me prepare mine as well. Consider it an honor. I'm willing to shorten my lifespan just to annihilate you all. Keying, quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. And the next moment, the blood energy emanating from the Black Dragon King soars even higher, and he suddenly charges towards the Esteemed One's left foot. The Black Dragon King and the Esteemed One's left foot merges. Keying, red light twists and writhes together. Ooh, within the writhing esteemed one's left foot, the red tentacles of the corals seem to pull the Black Dragon King's body. However, the next moment, the esteemed one's left foot completely disperses in all directions. Quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. The esteemed one's left foot becomes a cloud. No, it becomes a storm. Kuring, kururung. At the same time, a sea. The red blood cloud, harboring black lightning inside, disperses in all directions. Simultaneously, the blood swarming between the red clouds look almost akin to a sea. Wung, wurong. Quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. The Black Dragon King merged with the esteemed one's left foot, transforming into a phenomenon of the heavens and earth. The devilish energy of the true devil realm is drawn into the red storm, attacking the giant transformed Azure Tiger Saint. Azure Tiger Saint, buried within the dark red storm, silently faces off against the massive amalgamation formed by the fusion of the Black Dragon King and the esteemed one. Kim Yeon also mobilizes the integration stage puppets to block the red storm, but it proves futile. It can't be stopped. It has already surpassed the power of the integration stage. I have seen a being emitting that level of power before. The her who was modified by the Mad Lord braggingly to the star-shattering stage emitted precisely that level of authority. We have to help. I look at Azure Tiger Saint burning his life. The red storm is not just attacking his body. The mind. It's clear to my eyes that Azure Tiger Saint's mind is also being rapidly eroded by the storm. I can't physically block the storm. Even if Kim Yeon mobilizes the entire wonderfully mysterious fortress, it will be difficult. What I can do is, I barely manage to move my trembling body again, to infuse blessings into his heart, so he can protect himself. The Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace, in addition to infusing the nascent soul, is a strike that expels all of oneself in an instant. Naturally, it places an enormous strain on the body as well, not only on the nascent soul. Last time, I used the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace to save everyone from the esteemed one's technique and to lift Kim Yeon's seal. I used it once more. Having performed the feat of squeezing out my entire being twice in one day, my body has been in a very poor state since then. If I use Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace again this time, it will shave off at least 200 years off my lifespan. But that's nothing. After all, once you reach the nascent soul stage, time is in abundance. So, there's no need to hesitate any longer. TSTSSTs. I gather every droplet of strength in my entire body. Kim Yeon manipulates the integration stage puppets to support Azure Tiger Saint, and Oh Yun Sok is also gathering power, squeezing out his strength for Azure Wing Heavenly Shatter. The remnants of the human race from within the wonderfully mysterious fortress also came out, each preparing spells to support Azure Tiger Saint. Master, Oh Yun Sok shouts loudly as he charges forward. Cherararik. 7 pairs of wings extend from his back. They are wings surely made at the cost of his lifespan. Just when numerous individuals prepare to assist Azure Tiger Saint with their abilities. At that moment, Azure Tiger Saint, who was blocking the storm, suddenly glances back. The instant I see Azure Tiger Saint's eyes, I realize his intentions and shout. Master, don't. Goo. Azure Tiger Saint throws a punch towards us. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. As his fist moves, the armor he is wearing, the blue sky armor, which had been dyed purple along with his technique, is stripped away and flies towards us. And perhaps due to the blue sky armor's function, we can feel the space itself being pushed back by the fist wind emanating from his fist, distancing us from him. Azure Tiger Saint's voice softly reaches us. The Earth Tribe Grand Alliance will soon close the dimensional gate again. Leave quickly, Master. Oh Yun Sok, with tears streaming down his face, calls out to Azure Tiger Saint, and I employ Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace with all my focus. Pot. It seemed as though a flash of light moved forward. However, my nascent soul failed to reach Azure Tiger Saint. Due to being pushed away from him, the distance my nascent soul had to travel became larger. My nascent soul just barely fails to reach Azure Tiger Saint and is about to return to me. But I keep my mouth shut and use a different technique. The moment my nascent soul wielded by the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace gets closest to Azure Tiger Saint, I use the mystical technique given to me by Jian Shin. The spell of the mysterious bizarre Gu. Whiz. From my nascent soul, a fragment of my soul falls off and permeates into the body of Azure Tiger Saint. A spell originally created to counter the mental interference of the Blood Yin Realm Heavenly Fiends. Through mysterious bizarre Gu, I crawl into Azure Tiger Saint's soul. I then support his soul, resisting together against the mental interference of the esteemed one that is eroding his mind. Are you Co Unyun? Noticing the presence of my soul, Azure Tiger Saint asks. I imbue strength into Azure Tiger Saint's consciousness and reply. Come to this side now. If Master moves now, we can barely cross over to the bright cold realm together. I share my partial soul and vision with Azure Tiger Saint from above the wonderfully mysterious fortress, persuading him. Gradually behind us, the dimensional gate of the bright cold realm that Azure Tiger Saint broke through becomes visible. We are being pushed towards the dimensional gate by the fist wind and the power of the blue sky armor. The dimensional gate is still closing in real time. If you come quickly now, we can time it so that just Master and not that monster can cross over. Hurry. Unyana. Azure Tiger Saint softly responds to my words. Do you know what I promised in exchange for the Earth Tribe Grand Alliance to open the dimensional gate for a moment? Yes, I promised to halt the advance of the star-shattering stage esteemed one with my life. If an esteemed one of the Blood Yin realm, even just a clone, are to set foot in the bright cold realm, it will immediately resonate the dimensional coordinates between the bright cold realm and the Blood Yin realm, providing a foothold for the esteemed ones of the Blood Yin realm to cross into the bright cold realm. Azure Tiger Saint smiles bitterly, consoling me. This is fine. If it means I can save my disciples, my juniors, I am satisfied with this. I bite my lip tightly. TSTSSTs. The wonderfully mysterious fortress finally crosses the dimensional gate into the bright cold realm. Why do you, instead of yourself, choose to act for your disciples, your juniors? The cultivators I know are selfish, caring only about themselves. You too, isn't it okay to live like that? Single quote. After a moment of silence, Azure Tiger Saint smiles at my divided soul. Unyana, please convey my last words to Yun Sok. Crack. Kraduduk. Gradually, red rays break through Azure Tiger Saint's mental barrier. I try to block them by sacrificing my soul, but the power of a star-shattering stage esteemed one is impossible to stop with just my partial soul. Crack. I silently heard the Azure Tiger Saint's last will, his final teaching. Wung. Azure Tiger Saint's body begins to overheat. After finishing his last words, he speaks to my splitting partial soul. Single quote. Thank you. If it weren't for you, I might have already been consumed by the esteemed one's mind and possibly gone to kill Yun Sok with my own hands. Single quote. Master, once again, please convey my words to Yun Sok. You too, keep my words in your heart and live by them. Yes, he smiles faintly. All this time, as a master, I have learned a lot from you. Thank you, my disciples. Flash. The next moment, my partial soul is completely torn apart, and red light floods into Azure Tiger Saint's mind. As I fade away from within Azure Tiger Saint, I witness him gathering all his energy to self-destruct with all his might. Flash. Me, Yun Sok, Kim Yeon, and the countless members of the human race within the wonderfully mysterious fortress. We see a great star shining from beyond the Devil Realm. Like fireworks, like flames. What is certain is that it is a star shining in the darkness. Yun Sok stares at the star with a lost expression. Finally, we cross the dimensional gate and arrive back in the bright cold realm. Surrounding us, an immense energy surge. The grand cultivators of the integration stage. 7 human race grand cultivators surround us. No, it's not. They are projections. A kind of avatar they sent by projecting their images into the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. These avatars each form a seal, stretching their hands towards the dimensional gate we came from. Close the gate. Kugugugugu. The dimensional gate begins to close. Upon seeing this, Yun Sok screams out in despair. Wait, just a moment, please wait. My master is still there. He shouts as if he lost his mind, reaching out towards Azure Tiger Saint. Quiet, stay still. Azure Tiger Saint swore to sacrifice his own life to save you. Are you going to waste your master's death? One of the integration stage grand cultivators sternly shouts at Yun Sok. But Yun Sok, half mad, gathers his energy. Wait, what are you doing? The 8th wing spreads from his back. The power of a 4-axis stage at its peak emanates from him. Yun Sok too is willing to shave off his lifespan to save Azure Tiger Saint. Move, I'm going to save Master. Flash. A dazzling blue light ripples, tearing open the dimensional gate the grand cultivators are trying to close. As a result, the closing of the dimensional gate slows down. And in that brief gap, Kwang, Something pushes its hand into the bright cold realm. Damn it, you cursed creature. Damn, it's the esteemed one's blood corpse. It's a hand familiar to us. The hand, thrust into the gap of the dimensional gate, gradually moves to pry open the gap in the dimension. At the same time, from beyond the dimensional gap, a voice identical to the owner of the hand is heard. Yunhyun, Yun, Seoka, open it. Behind it is chasing me. Master. Oh Yun Sok is shocked as he looks at the hand. And then, me and the Grand Cultivators simultaneously shouts. Hung Nim, no, stop it, that's not Azure Tiger Saint. Crunch, I grit my teeth, recalling the moment when Yuan Li morphed his face with Hyung Hwas to beg for his life. The indignation of that insulting anger flared up in my mind once again. Azure Tiger Saint died, he perished gloriously, but that damned star-shattering stage esteemed one, and that Black Dragon King. Just like Yuan Li, they are desecrating the soul of the dead. Yun Sok, it hurts. If you help can live. Master, is it really you, Master? Crack, I struggle to my feet, speaking to Kim Yeon. Yeon, please suppress Yun Sok Hung. Quote. Yes, Kim Yeon, too, seems to be in pain, biting her lips tightly as she moves the puppets to suppress Oh Yun Sok. Chirarik. Simultaneously, the projections of the integration stage Grand Cultivators also use their spells to bind Oh Yun Sok tightly. No, let go, let me go. Seo Un Yun, what are you doing? Master is right there. Master is. Quote. That's how it was. In my past life, I realize why Oh Yun Sok fell into madness. Azure Tiger Saint probably also entered the True Devil realm to save Oh Yun Sok back then, and had self-destructed to allow Oh Yun Sok to escape. However, Azure Tiger Saint from my past life wasn't protected by my mysterious bizarre GU, and might have been completely taken over by the esteemed one even before self-destructing. Now, only an arm is being used by the esteemed one, but in the past life, perhaps his entire body was taken over and used for such purposes. The integration stage Grand Cultivators would have unhesitatingly killed Azure Tiger Saint transformed like that in front of Oh Yun Sok and then closed the entrance to the True Devil realm. The esteemed one, until the very end, would have begged Oh Yun Sok for salvation through the mouth of Azure Tiger Saint. Thus, until the very end, they would have desecrated Azure Tiger Saint's death. And now, in this life, since I have become his disciple, I will never let it happen. Do not desecrate. Crunch, my entire body creaks. Moving any more feels like it will kill me. But still, I move. Taking my stance, I prepare Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. Someone's death. Roar. Once again, squeezing out my nascent soul, I growl towards the arm desecrating Azure Tiger Saint's death. With that filthy mouth. Flash. Kim Yeon's puppets each shoot beams and cast spells to push the arm out of the dimension. The projections of the Grand Cultivators also try in their own way to expel the arm. Senior brother Oh, not as Seo Un Yun, Oh Yun Sok's younger brother, but as the disciple of the Azure Heaven Creation Sect, I call Oh Yun Sok while concentrating my energy. Grand Cultivators, I have good information to share. That guy is from the Heart tribe. He learned the Heart Path method. The arm wriggles, pointing at me, but I pay it no mind, my eyes shining as I continue. From now on, I will convey the last words of our master to you. Why did Oh Yun Sok fall in my past life? Why did he go mad with grief? It might have been due to the schemes of the Blood Yin realm esteemed one, but perhaps it was because the last words of Azure Tiger Saint hadn't been conveyed to him. Although he inherited the symbol of Azure Tiger Saint's power, the blue sky armor, he hadn't inherited the true essence of Azure Tiger Saint's spirit. That's why, possessing power but a crushed spirit, he fell into corruption. Zeezing. The arm gradually turns red. From the arm, red corals sprout, coloring the surroundings. The voice of the Black Dragon King, overlapped with someone else's, echoes all around. The vice is palpable, the wickedness of the filthy human race, who cold-heartedly abandoned their own kind in the Devil realm and closed the gate. Chi, what is this? The Blood Yin esteemed one is using some kind of sorcery. It's the devilish arts of the Blood Yin realm. Red corals begin to grow from the projections of the integration stage Grand Cultivators. The red corals dye the heaven and earth spiritual energy in the bright cold realm into devilish energy, further empowering the arm. Gradually pushed back by the attacks of the integration stage puppets, the arm, slowly approaches us. Another vice is felt, the wickedness of a madman who crazily modified other races into puppets. Suddenly, red corals also begin to sprout from the puppets controlled by Kim Yeon. Creak, creak, creak. Ah! Kim Yeon clenches her teeth, attempting to control the integration stage puppets, but the red coral creates fissures in the command system between her and the puppets. At some point, the red energy emitted by the red coral flows back along Kim Yeon's consciousness thread, invading her upper dantian. Og! Kim Yeon endures the pain, struggling to push the red energy out of her mind using her consciousness. In an instant, Kim Yeon is incapacitated. Another vice is felt, the wickedness of those filthy beings who without hesitation baked and ate the same sentient species as elixirs. Ha! What is this? My body. Red corals begin to grow from the bodies of the human race remnants around. What is? I am shocked by this scene. Can the concept of vice be manipulated like this? No, more importantly, the Blood Yin esteemed one's left hand and foot didn't use such sorcery. Has the Black Dragon King started using such spells after merging with the esteemed one's left foot? FZZT, FZZT. Corals sprout from me as well, but fortunately, the corals that emerge from me wither and die on the spot. Seeing this, I intuitively understand. Until now, the Black Dragon King was just one of the Dragon Kings from the demon race. An integration stage Black Dragon King who was born with a bit of immortal blood, but that was all. But at this moment, having merged with the flesh of the Blood Yin esteemed one, it seems the Black Dragon King had transformed into something different. He freely uses techniques that even a division of the star-shattering esteemed one couldn't use. What exactly is he, to use the concept of vice so freely? No, damn it, that Blood Yin realm fiend. The projections of the grand cultivators are quickly covered in coral, and the humans near the dimensional gate are all enveloped in coral, starting to be annihilated. Ha! I smile bitterly. I think of what Azure Tiger Saint, no, what my master had said to me. If it has come to this, I have no choice but to act similarly. If I'm the only one who can act properly, shouldn't I uphold his will now? Indeed, maybe I should have done this from the beginning. I quickly take out the white red wine I saved in my storage bag. The colorless glass sword tightly connects to my soul. I clench my teeth and summon the power of Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace. I have no intention of using a strike that penetrates the essence of that being. I can't comprehend its thought process. So, what should I do? Convert all the power of the Sea of Righteousness and Mountain of Grace, which is used to penetrate the plane of soul, into physical force. Keying, I explode my nascent soul at the plane of Qi. With such a strike, regardless of whether that creature transforms the surroundings into devilish energy or not, I can send it far beyond. Listen, senior brother O. I approach the being with fierce determination in my eyes. This is the last teaching master has passed on to us. Sarik, Sarararik, countless figures appear behind me. The canvas of myriad forms and connections. The artifact spirits that make up the canvas of myriad forms and connections are only clear as human figures to my eyes. To others, they will appear as nothing more than a faint mist. To Oh Yun Sok and Kim Yeon, it might seem like countless mists are laid out behind me. Since the canvas of myriad forms and connections store memories by reproducing scenes through artifact spirits, it doesn't contain memories in the artifact spirits themselves, making it impossible to transmit memories through it under normal circumstances. However, at the moment of my soul's explosion, as my soul's energy is torn apart and scatters in all directions, under the name of death, the boundary between self and others disappears, allowing me to show my canvas of myriad forms and connections to others for a very brief moment. I plan to use this brief instant to reproduce the moment Azure Tiger Saint passed his last words to me and convey it to Oh Yun Sok. I turn around. Oh Yun Sok, who still hasn't regained his senses. And Kim Yeon, who is making eye contact with me. Kim Yeon's eyes tremble. Fortunately, it seems she could overcome the red energy that invaded her mind. Don't go. Noticing what I am about to do, tears well up in her eyes. I'm sorry. I clench my teeth. I don't want to die either. Though a regressor's life is said to be infinite, this time is once in a lifetime. Every moment is once in a lifetime. Because I regress, death is all the more terrifying. Because I regress, it's all the more grievous to abandon this moment and reverse time. Because I regress, this moment is all the more precious. And, because it's precious, I will protect these precious people with my life. Being able to protect, as my master's last will says, is a privilege. I recall the last words of Azure Tiger Saint, the will he passed at the end. Severing mountain swordsmanship. Once again, I bloom a new technique. No, to call it a new technique is somewhat inaccurate. The 26th move, if C of righteousness and mountain of grace involves fusing all power within the sword and unleashing a strike, the newly created technique merely changes the process of unleashing to exploding. Master. 1 annihilation to the near shore. From the sword in my hand, a burst of pure white brilliance explodes. I explode all the power integrated within my nascent soul, with all the energy at the plane of chi. The next moment, the brilliant white light covers everything, and my mind is flooded with whiteness. The nascent soul collapses, but I have no regrets. If this allows me to protect the precious connections I've formed in this life, even at the cost of my own life, then it is enough. Countless figures follow behind me. Through the canvas of myriad forms and connections, everyone I've met so far is my connection and, at the same time, my master. Therefore, I return the favor to my masters as much as I received. However, I could not return the favor I received from Azure Tiger Saint. So by upholding Azure Tiger Saint's will, I will fulfill my duty. Thus, embracing the words of Azure Tiger Saint, I step towards death with a smile. Kim Yeon sheds tears. He's going to die. Seo Eun-yun, with no one else being able to react to the sorcery used by that evil being from the Blood Yin realm except him, chooses to sacrifice his life to block the Blood Yin esteemed one. Not like this. Just as she gathers all her strength to try and stop him. Sarararik. Before her eyes, faint illusions appear. The faint mist that rose behind Seo Eun-yun materializes as if depicting a person. It's Azure Tiger Saint. The last moments of Azure Tiger Saint. That's a scene from Seo Eun-yun's memory. Kim Yeon's pupils narrow instinctively realizing this fact. And Oh Yun-sok, having seen the image of Azure Tiger Saint, also stops crying and looks at him. Why do you, instead of yourself, choose to act for your disciples, your juniors? The cultivators I know are selfish, caring only about themselves. You too, isn't it okay to live like that? Seo Eun-yun's voice is also heard. His question resonates with Oh Yun-sok. Oh Yun-sok wanted to ask Azure Tiger Saint the same. What exactly is righteousness, what is affection, how could you so easily sacrifice yourself for your juniors? Eun-yun, please convey my last words to Yun-sok. And Azure Tiger Saint turns around with a smile. Oh Yun-sok feels as if the projection of Azure Tiger Saint is looking right at him. People, from birth to growth, receive immeasurable grace that cannot be expressed in words. The reason I have upheld righteousness and maintained my version of goodness is because it is the duty and responsibility of everyone who has received grace throughout their life. No, it is not a duty but a privilege. The last words of the Azure Tiger Saint continue. To act with righteousness, dreaming the impossible dream. To act with righteousness, overcoming endless trials. To endure unbearable pain for the sake of righteousness. To die for the noble ideal that righteousness defines. Gazing upon righteousness, knowing how to mend our wrongs. It is his song, the belief that Azure Tiger Saint pursued all his life. Born with a strong and blessed body, living life with the willpower to make bone-grinding efforts. As a chosen one, showing mercy to the weak. Providing opportunities to those with abilities, protecting successors as an elder. Fulfilling responsibilities to those under him. Azure Tiger Saint, deemed a kind soul by the Mad Lord, sang of pure goodwill. To love each other with purity and goodwill. To have pride in impossible dreams. Hearing Azure Tiger Saint's song, Oh Yun-sok stops crying. Wiping his tears, he stands up and respectfully bows towards the illusion of Azure Tiger Saint. Kim Yeon could no longer try to stop Seo Eun-yun. All cultivators, especially those above the nascent soul stage, reaching the heavenly being stage, are madmen. Though they seem sane on the outside, every one of them has a part that's flawed or gone insane. Yes, Azure Tiger Saint was mad with goodwill. No, to be precise, he was mad with purity. To believe and act on the insane logic that one can sacrifice oneself for others, for those one is responsible for one's people. Kim Yeon could no longer stop Seo Eun-yun's actions. Seo Eun-yun is now inheriting Azure Tiger Saint's will. Bearing Azure Tiger Saint's last words in his heart, he truly upholds that will. Because she can read heart essence through the mysteriously wonderful innate heart canon, she was rendered unable to move, reading the resolute heart of Seo Eun-yun. Azure Tiger Saint's song, his purity, finally comes to an end. Believing thus, reaching the stars. This is not a simple verse. This is his purity conveyed to Seo Eun-yun, Oh Yun-sok, and all remaining disciples of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Once again, please convey my words to Yun-sok. You too, keep my words in your heart and live by them. Yes. Boom. The body of Azure Tiger Saint bursts. And just as he had sung, Azure Tiger Saint becomes a star. All this time, as a master, I have learned a lot from you. Thank you, my disciples. Flash. The spirit of Azure Tiger Saint, just like himself, becomes a star and illuminates in all directions. A madman, lost in purity. But if this world is hell, maybe it's because he was pure that he had to die now. Maybe it was because he was too good that he could not live any longer. However, his will is definitely conveyed to Oh Yun-sok through Seo Eun-yun. Oh Yun-sok sees a person dispersing with a white glow beyond the star that Azure Tiger Saint became. Quote. From now on, I will continue to carry on this will. Oh Yun-sok clenches his fist and shouts. By doing so, definitely, I will prove that Master's heart was not meaningless. Watch over me from the other side, Seo Eun-yun. Oh Yun-sok, with determination, swallows his tears and shouts at Seo Eun-yun. As simply as that, a person's heart, conveyed to another. And with that, the fate of Oh Yun-sok, who would have become a fallen wreck after Azure Tiger Saint's death, twisted. Step by step, Kim Yeon slowly approaches Seo Eun-yun. Seo Eun-yun stands there, with his sword swung. Seo Eun-yun died while triggering his nascent soul. The dimensional gate completely closed, and the arm of Azure Tiger Saint completely vanished, no longer subject to desecration. He died with a smile. Maybe it was the relief of being able to protect his connections in death. She approaches Seo Eun-yun and closes his eyes for him. And then, Seo Eun-yun's body finally seems to find peace, slowly collapsing into Kim Yeon's embrace. Kim Yeon lowers her head and gently kisses the lips of the fallen Seo Eun-yun. Oh Yun-sok, watching this scene, murmurs. You were truly meaningful to so many people, Eun-yun. Around Seo Eun-yun, countless ethereal figures stand centered on him. Those figures embrace Seo Eun-yun, who now rests on Kim Yeon. To me, there was only one master, but for you, Eun-yun, to you, your masters were everyone now embracing you, weren't they? Oh Yun-sok momentarily feels as if he sees his own figure among those ethereal spirits and closes his eyes. Rest well, Seo Eun-yun. You've sufficiently repaid all the grace of the masters you wished to protect. Now, rest on the other shore. Oh Yun-sok thus commemorated Seo Eun-yun. However, contrary to Oh Yun-sok's wishes, Seo Eun-yun did not reach the other shore. As the name of the ultimate technique, one annihilation to the near shore suggests, the place Seo Eun-yun was to reach was just another near shore. But, for this moment at least, as he struggled, trying with all his might to repay and protect the grace of all the masters he has met in his life. Perhaps, Seo Eun-yun was able to rest comfortably, embraced by the many people around him. This was Seo Eun-yun's 15th return. Author's note. I would like to disclose that the last words of Azure Tiger Saint are a homage to Don Quixote. Azure Tiger Saint was greatly influenced by Don Quixote, especially by Don Quixote's purity. Now, the purity of Azure Tiger Saint, akin to that of Don Quixote, has been passed on to Seo Eun-yun. The Azure Heaven Creation Sect episode was written to awaken both Seo Eun-yun and myself, feeling that we both had somewhat forgotten the initial spirit of the early days of if I find the way in the morning, I am content with death in the evening. Now, having inherited Azure Tiger Saint's purity, Seo Eun-yun has gained the heart to die again for a noble ideal, bear impossible dreams, fight invincible foes, and endure endless pain. In a way, it can be said he has rediscovered his original intentions. As finding the original intention was the main goal of this episode, both Seo Eun-yun and I will strive to rediscover our initial intentions and work harder. I extend my gratitude to all readers who have been with us so far and promise to continue delivering good stories in the future. Thank you. Translator notes. This cycle is probably my favorite cycle yet. Also, this chapter took the longest time ever to translate, and is probably one of the longest, being almost 6k words, almost 6 hours. Phew. BTW, Blue Sky Armor can also be translated as Azure Heaven Armor, which correlates to Azure Heaven Creation Sect, but IDK, it sounds too tacky. Blue Sky Armor has that simplistic feel that I think fits better with it being just a Dharma treasure. It's totally not, because I don't want to go back and update the terms. Ahahaha. Chapter 180. 15th Cycle's First Day. SSSSH. Consciousness returns. Could it be the price for having forcefully exploded my nascent soul? My head feels so dizzy, it's as if I'm going to vomit. But that feeling is fleeting. I regain consciousness. And then, a familiar voice reaches my ears. Make your choice. We'll soon scatter according to the guidance of the Bright Cold Realms seniors. Which faction will you join? I look at Seo Wayol in front of me while pressing down on my throbbing head. He's looking at me with a rather interested expression. Not just him, but Jin Baek Ho, Heo Gwak, and Azure Tiger Saint are all staring at me with shocked expressions. Greed can be seen in the eyes of the Mad Lord as well. My head is throbbing, perhaps because my consciousness has grown too large. Ever since I attained the 5 energies converging to the origin, my consciousness became slightly larger than those of my peers, and it had grown even more after learning the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon. In such a state, I reached the nascent soul stage in my past life. My consciousness, having just reached the nascent soul stage, is now in terms of sheer size, at the peak of mid-nascent soul stage. Is it because my consciousness has grown too large? Even though I had undergone complete transformation in the head realm, my head started to hurt and throb. It seems that even after harmonizing my body once, the size has grown too much to bear. Fortunately, even though the harmony is disrupted, the body granted by 5 energies converging to the origin seems to hold up well enough that my head doesn't explode right away. However, anyway, isn't this a nascent soul stage cultivator's consciousness? If the size of the consciousness is that big, it would overflow from the plane of soul and even affect the plane of chi. Getting a nascent soul would be greatly advantageous for him. With his level, it seems he's immediately usable as a force, doesn't it? Indeed, the human, who had possessed a core formation stage consciousness, had his consciousness size suddenly grow to the nascent soul stage after exchanging a few words with Seo Wayol. Setting aside the marvel, a consciousness level above the nascent soul stage, as they said, affects the plane of chi, meaning he can be immediately utilized as a force if managed well. Therefore, hey, how about joining our Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect? We'll give you the position of an outer sect elder right away, and if you elevate your cultivation, we'll even offer you the position of an inner sect elder. No, it seems like your soul is familiar with death. If you join Black Ghost Valley, you can achieve tremendous success. Infinite methods fitting the history of our valley await you. Considering your consciousness and that aura of death, joining Black Ghost Valley would mean a nascent soul stage consciousness. You're a talent capable of properly digesting the training of our Azure Heaven Creation sect. If you join now, I'll give you the position of a first cloud disciple and the status of my direct disciple. Jin Baek Ho, Heo Gwak, and Azure Tiger Saint, none of them wanting to be outdone, shout at me with bright faces. In the early part of my past life, while it was considered a marvel that I possessed a consciousness of the core formation stage, it wasn't met with such fervent enthusiasm as it is now. The intensity of their interest is curious. That isn't all. Seeing this, makes me even more covetous. With your caliber, I will recommend a place for you in the True Dragon Alliance, and if you wish, not just my blood, but I will also use my recommendation for you to participate in the Immortal Beast Blood Fusion. Seo Wayol also looks at my consciousness with an expression of wonder. The Mad Lord, seeing the size of my consciousness, seems on the verge of madness again, rolling his eyes and trembling his fingers. From experience, this is a prelude to his madness. If it erupts, he will bite his fingers and go berserk. This isn't the time for this. I swallow my saliva inwardly. Only upon witnessing the Mad Lord's reaction do I snap back to reality. If I zone out now, I'll end up kidnapped by the Mad Lord, and any choice I might have will vanish. Of course, given my current state, I can feel the colorless glass sword lying dormant within me. The colorless glass swords passed down from my past life after consuming white red wine. Connected to the colorless glass swords is the canvas of myriad forms and connections. Within the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I can feel the accumulation of my past life's cultivation and experiences. I sense that, if handled well, I can use the canvas of myriad forms and connections as a beacon to reclaim the realm of nascent soul within 10, 20 years. I want to shorten that time, but the problem is matching the timing of the rituals and ceremonies required while practicing cultivation methods. Nonetheless, as it became possible to regain my cultivation in a short period, even if kidnapped by the Mad Lord, escaping soon after would be feasible. But honestly, doing so is pointless effort. Let's set aside the sentiments of my past life for now and make a choice first. I rack my brain hard. As cultivators ascend in cultivation realms and their consciousness expands, their intelligence, thinking speed, memory, etc., increase proportionally, little by little. Of course, the degree of proportionality varies from person to person, but it's true that the breadth of thought changes according to the size of consciousness. With my nascent soul-level consciousness at full throttle, I consider the best possible choice. And finally, I make my decision. Jin Bayak Ho, Heyo Gwak, Azure Tiger Saint, the Mad Lord and Co Whale are looking at me. I choose. Without hesitation, I walk towards one person. Ho, you've chosen me. He gives me a warm smile and pats my shoulder. The Mad Lord's expression sours. I feel like vomiting too, but I force a smile and bow to him. I, who am still lacking, wish to study under the guidance of the renowned Co Whale. Ha ha ha, a good choice. I will take care of you without fail. Although you are not of the demon race but the human race, I will make sure you're not ostracized or bullied among the demons. Quote. Thank you. I try to get used to the revulsion of Co Whale's heart essence while scanning my surroundings. The eyes of the others are filled with pity, and the Mad Lord clicks his tongue and turns his head away in displeasure. I turn my gaze to Yi and below the Mad Lord. In my past life, I planned to choose Azure Tiger Saint from the start, so considering his pure characteristics, I even went ahead and hugged Yi in front of the Mad Lord. But now, it is difficult for me to approach her. Not only is the Mad Lord glaring, but unlike the pure Azure Tiger Saint, if I act friendly with the Mad Lord in front of Co Whale, I don't know how I will be stabbed in the back later, so caution is necessary. While I am sorting out my thoughts, the Mad Lord starts arguing with the 4-axis stage wooden man and begins to go berserk. Seeing the Mad Lord losing it, Co Whale quickly tells the 4-axis stage demon who came for them to leave this place. While the Mad Lord is having an outburst and Co Whale is preparing to leave, I secretly create a spirit clone from my soul and mix it with the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts without anyone noticing. Then, I throw it towards Yin without anyone realizing. My spirit clone, with mysterious bizarre GU, infiltrates her consciousness unnoticed. Though I can't comfort her in the early stages of this life, through mysterious bizarre GU, I can keep in touch and comfort her in the future. I silently thank Jian Shin who passed on this technique and follow Co Whale. Yu Ryan seems displeased with me riding on her head, but persuaded by Co Whale, she allows me to climb onto her neck. Shortly after, she takes off into the sky and leaves the flying immortal platform. From atop Yu Ryan, I look down below, watching the Mad Lord throw a fit and pull out the wonderfully mysterious fortress. And then, my gaze falls on Azure Tiger Saint, caught in the middle of them. Seizing a moment of respite, I bow to him in my heart. Even though he was my master in my past life, he has not become a different person through the regressions. However, my feelings for him has not changed. He is the steadfast pillar and master in my heart. I will not forget your teachings. From now on, I will be under Co Whale. I can't begin to imagine how dark and twisted the world beneath him might be. But precisely because of that, I resolved myself even more not to forget Azure Tiger Saint's spirit, turning my head away from the tumult caused by the Mad Lord at the flying immortal platform. I've set my goals for this life. Originally, I considered joining the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sector, maybe the Black Ghost Valley, which seems to suit me. But while contemplating atop the flying immortal platform, I decided on the objectives for this life. First, to find out what exactly happens to Ohai Co, who was taken away by Co Whale. Sitting among the other demons on top of the 4-axis demon's head, I watch Co Whale chatter away with a pleasant smile. It is necessary to delve into the dark schemes within him, to uncover what he plans to do with Ohai Co. Second, starting from the Black Dragon King Yun, find out what those dragon races are really up to. Blood Yin Realm's star-shattering Esteemed One and the Black Dragon King are clearly related. And Co Whale, the crafty serpent who supported Yuan Li's ascendance from the Head Realm to the Blood Yin Realm. Without understanding what these dragon races want and their true identities intertwined with the Blood Yin Realm, I might not be able to keep up with the situation in the Bright Cold Realm. So, this time, I plan to infiltrate from within to discover their objectives and identity. And finally, third, and the most important, perhaps the most challenging task. Starting now, as I cultivate under Co Whale and reach the core of the demon race. Thinking of the madness of Jaeon Myung-hoon and the tragedy of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect. I will infiltrate the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect and steal the Heavenly Lightning Banner before it is destroyed by the true immortal. Then, bringing the stolen heavenly lightning banner into the demon territory and throwing it into the mouths of Seo Whale or Hyeonium, I will achieve perfect counter-poisoning. This third goal is the main reason I chose Seo Whale. In this life, I will confirm Ohai Seo's situation and the dragon race's objectives, and by stealing the heavenly lightning banner, I will deal a significant blow to their base. These are my biggest goals of this life. Unnoticed by Yu Ryan, I disperse the formless sword within me. Then, I create a gang sphere in the center of my dantian to form my inner core. Wo Wang. As the inner core forms and stabilizes the center of my body, the throbbing in my head eases a bit. Feeling the energy of my inner core, Yu Ryan, who is carrying us towards the Earth Tribe territory, speaks. What's this? Were you a demon? I can feel demonic energy. Are you perhaps a half-demon? I clear my throat and then responded to Yu Ryan in demon language. I'm not a half-demon. I am indeed of the human race, but I learned a very unique method in the lower world that allows me to form a demon core even with a human body. Upon arriving in the bright cold realm, the achievements that had been blocked until now have been unlocked, and a demon core has formed right away. Ha ha ha, ho, even demon language. Well, you Heaven Tribe theoretically can learn Earth Tribe methods too. As I fluently speak the demon language and reveal the energy of my inner core, Yu Ryan seems to develop a bit of goodwill towards me, no longer appearing entirely uncomfortable. Seeing my actions, Seo Whale comes down from Yu Ryan's head and walks over to me, sitting at her neck. Swoosh. Pretending to look down below from atop Yu Ryan's neck, heading towards the Earth Tribe territory, I pay my respects to Seo Whale. Thank you once again for accepting me, Dragon King. Don't call me King. In the bright cold realm, the title of King is reserved for those of the integration stage demon kings. Anyway, not taking in a talent like you would mean I'm a fool without eyes. To think you can even form a demon core, you're much more compatible with our demon race than I expected. Thank you. And you've learned the demon language too, I really can't help but take a liking to you. Since I can't take my eyes off a talent like you until we reach the Earth Tribe territory, why not learn this method? I personally created it, and it's suited for an excellent talent like you. Seo Whale, smiling, takes out a method manual bound in demon beast leather from his bosom and hands it to me. Ah, the name of the method is Summoning Wind, True Blood Transformation. Quote. As I silently look at the method manual, Seo Whale gives a bitter smile, seeming apologetic. Truthfully, I wanted to provide you with a more proper demon method. But it seems this is the best we can do before we reach the True Dragon Alliance, which is the headquarters of the demon race, for someone of human origin like you. Please understand. However, reading Seo Whale's heart essence, I can see that although he verbally expresses regret, his suspicion towards me is gradually rising. Damn it. Accepting the Summoning Wind, True Blood Transformation will make me his puppet and livestock, and not accepting it will make Seo Whale suspect me. I had never intended to fully gain his trust, but I hadn't expected to be suspected so soon after choosing to align with Seo Whale, not even half a day in. Caught between a rock and a hard place, I opened my mouth while looking at the Summoning Wind, True Blood Transformation. Author's note, main quest list for 15th cycle, 1. Check on Ohai Seo's situation. 2. Spy on the dragon race. 3. Steal the heavenly lightning banner. 4. New. Survive Seo Whale's manipulation.